What's up, waves? Welcome back to Melina podcast, where we take you down the yellow brick road of anime and have a look at everything it has to offer. As always, I'm Notorious, and join me once again. And once this introduction is over, is Shaun, Melina, because it is another EX episode. Hopefully those will end soon, because this is coming at the second week of January. And we haven't been able to record for a while because of scheduling, Christmas and holidays and all that sort of stuff. But this is the Patlabor EX episode, so this brings together the original OVA, the first movie, second movie, and Weapon 13, which is the third movie, but it also has that little weird subtitle. So I will hand you guys over to our discussions.
We're on the scene in Patlabor, the early days, directed by Mamoru Oshii, written by Kazunori Ito, music by Kenji Kawai, animation production by Studio Dean under the Headgear group name. It released in Japan between April 25th, 1988 and June 25th, 1989 for a total of 7 episodes. It is licensed in the US by Made in Japan. Maiden, not made in, as it maiden. A maiden, a woman.
Female.
Just to be clear, because my accent doesn't allow me to really make it sound different enough.
Maidenless.
It's just a subdivision of Sentai. Yeah, and is available in the complete Patlabor box set alongside 3 movies, TV show, and second OVA series. It was licensed in the UK by MVM. However, their license has expired, so you can get it secondhand on Blu-ray. Just the early days OVA. It's kind of hard though. Kind of hoping now that Anime Limited have the movies, they might also release the OVA. But as it stands, the UK is kind of a bit iffy on getting a hold of it. But, you know, that's kind of a common thing when we cover stuff here.
Yeah.
What's them announce a release like right after we record this?
I would love that.
Yeah, that would be great.
The movies have been out for like a year or two here now, because I've got the collector's box set for, like, they released each movie individually. It's not like in the US where they just did like one big box set that had everything in it. It was collector sets for each individual movie. We're witnessing Jehovah in Patlabor, the movie, directed by Mamoru Oshii, written by Kazunori Ito, music by Kenji Kawai, animation production by IG Tatsunoko under the Headgear banner thing. Look, if you've seen it, you'll know. It released in Japanese theatres July 15th, 1989. It is licensed in the UK by Anime Limited and in the US by Sentai Filmworks under the Made in Japan label. Maiden as in maidenless, not maiden as in maiden. Again, my voice doesn't allow me to make a distinction.
Get fucked with that accent.
Just do it in an American, maybe that.
No.
Even worse.
It is available on home media from both companies. For Sentai, you can pretty much just only buy it in the complete box set. That's the only reason I'm actually mentioning the home video thing, just because, you know, if you want everything for a really good price, get the Sentai one, because it's also Region B compatible. So, you know. Then we ask War, what is it good for? That was terrible.
You know, if you had just stuck to it and none of us laughed, could have just gotten past that.
In Patlabor 2, the movie, directed by Mamoru Oshii, written by Kazunori Ito, music by Kenji Kawai, animation production by Production IG. I think I wrote animated by because animation production by Production IG.
Sounds weird.
Sounds weird, yeah.
There's no clean way to say that.
Yeah, no. Released in Japanese theatres August 7th, 1993. It is licensed in the UK by Anime Limited and the US by Sentai Filmworks under the Made in Japan label. Once again, if you do like Patlabor, if you've watched along with us thus far through any means, we don't really judge. The Sentai US release is the best one to pick up because it has everything. It has the OVAs, it has the movies. It has the original OVA, it has all 3 movies, it has the TV show, and it has the second OVA for like, I don't know, $60, $50 when it's on sales.
Really good.
Yeah. So, yeah, like, just, you know, import that if you want it, because you can get it here, but you can only get the movies at this point. Everything else is kind of out of print, and the TV show's never been licensed, so it's time for a brief interlude in Weapon 13, Patlabor the Movie 3, directed by Fumihiko Takayama, written by Miki Tori, not Mike Tori as it's written here. Music by Kenji Kawai, animation production by Madhouse. It released in Japanese theatres March 30th, 2002. It is licensed in the US by Sentai Filmworks under the Made in Japan label, and in the UK by Anime Limited. So yeah, this is the original start of Patlabor, I guess.
It is the early days.
It is the early days. It was just released in Japan as Patlabor, the Mobile Police, and then there was the movies, and then when the TV show came out, like as they were releasing them, they added like new titles and stuff just to differentiate. Because confusingly, the second OVA series is sometimes just called Patlabor 2. Not confusing at all with the movie also being called Patlabor 2, the movie, and also the fact it's not a sequel to this OVA series, but is a sequel to the TV show. Because there's two different timelines. There's this timeline with the OVA and then the 3 movies, though movie 3 is technically takes place in between movie 1 and 2.
We're not there yet. We're not there yet.
I'm just covering this because there's no point in talking about it anywhere else. And then there's the TV show, which is just the TV show, and then the OVA series. So, yeah, it's, anime's fun like that.
Yeah. So fun.
So yeah, this is like 7-episode little OVA. So, just straight to video, kind of, I guess, not experimental, but definitely just laying out an idea, which I think the best way you could describe these 7 episodes.
Yeah,
Definitely.
they don't really get into it
No.
enough, I'd say.
Having now seen everything, because when I first watched this, I had seen the movies and nothing else. And then when I had watched it, I then rewatched the movies and then watched the TV show. And I have to say the TV show is essentially the idea of the OVA, but it's a TV show. So there's more room for
They expanded it.
little episodic ideas. And so that works because it's like 49 episodes, maybe like 60 something once you include the OVA. Whereas this is 7 episodes.
Yeah, and they make strange choices on like what stories to do in what order. I want to say is because that's jumping into my thoughts. That's the main takeaway I had when I specifically watched the last one. I was like, we had this. The whole thing really built up to like a very interesting, serious sort of political thriller thing, and the 2-parter near the end. And then suddenly the last episode is back to the episodic, completely different plot, which has a completely different tone with the rest of it, which sort of left a bad taste in my mouth, I'm sad to say.
Yeah.
I agree, because it just felt like they were building up this big final end, and then it just kind of is like, okay, now we're done. And we're dealing with a truck.
Funny little truck side story with terrorists, but the guy is a dumbass.
So this is one of the weird things about the OVA, and I was looking this up to see if there was any information on, like, was it originally 6 and then they were asked to make a 7th out of nowhere? Because the first 6 episodes are directed by Mamoru Oshii, whereas the 7th is directed by Naoyuki Yoshinaga. And I don't, like, I guess Oshii maybe was working on the movie by this point, because the movie did release the same year the last episode of the OVA came out. So the last episode of the OVA came out, where is it? I just said it, but I don't have that up. June 25th, 1989, and then the movie came out July 15th. So production-wise, like, Oshii would not have had the time to work on a film alongside. But, like, why would you also have the 7th episode after those last 2 episodes?
Yeah, those
before
feel
that?
like a very climactic episodes, even though the ending of the whole thing does feel kind of fast.
Yeah, I think it's that sort of thing of, like, when you're doing an OVA, it's hard to give it, like, a proper kind of ending. An arc as well. It does sort of segue nicely into the more serious tone of the movies, I would say. Because obviously, like, the first 4 episodes are kind of goofy.
Yeah.
Kinda.
I gotta mention it now that we just brought it up. Fucking episode 3.
Yeah, I love episode 3.
Peak writing.
Yeah.
Fucking the whole time there's this kaiju that's just like running around. It's Godzilla basically.
Yeah.
It is just almost straight up Godzilla 54, which is one of the best movies I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And it gets better every time I watch it. But like, it's basically a parody. But then like the end of it, you've got the kaiju who's basically Kongzilla.
Yeah.
In terms
I
of
put
design.
Goth Elf.
That is also valid.
Yeah,
That is also valid,
works,
Queen.
yeah.
I'll give you that. But like, he comes up, he sees what's his name,
Papa.
the bro.
Oh.
I just call him the bro.
Is it Yamaguchi? I think I remember. I just said it to you earlier because he's also like, he's the one who takes out the missile launcher.
Yeah, he's the big boy.
Yeah,
Dude.
The
In my
thi-
notes, dude.
I called him both the bro and Chad.
Yeah.
I have to scroll back through my fucking
'Cause he's
crash
the
out
Chad
watching
of the
Blood
group. He
Bad
just-
last night.
Anyway, Kongzilla sees him. They have this spiritual, deep connection of
Yep.
just staring at each other, and then Kongzilla's like, "I have to go now. I need stuff to think through," and then he leaves.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And that's
it's
the end.
so unsatisfying. He
No,
just,
but it's great though.
I love it. I
Yes,
personally
no.
love it.
no,
I love it. Peak writing.
no.
Peak writing.
No, this is episode 3 is like the most divisive episode in the fan
Understandably,
base.
Yeah.
Like if you're not a kaiju fan, it's a real weird moment.
I say a lot of things are stupid, and like it usually bounces between good stupid or bad
Uh-huh.
stupid. This was great stupid.
Yes, it's also not the only kaiju thing in the franchise because there are 2 kaiju episodes of the TV show, and then the 3rd movie is essentially a kaiju flick.
I'm so fucking excited.
I'm not.
Yeah. It's also like a detective story at the same time, so it's like
I feel like they try to do it with this. Like
yes.
to do, you
Yeah.
have your whole setup
Uh-huh.
where it's like something happened. I'm in a submarine. It'd be a shame if it imploded. That's crazy.
That's wild.
That's just fucking wild. And it's set up as this. Oh, let's figure out how this happened. But then we have this not B plot, because it's part of the A plot, where this guy just proves the evolutionary theory.
Yeah.
Like, and he's my baby. And then the conversation, and he just walks away. He's murdered. Innocent civilians.
Yeah, this is one of those things. If you've not seen Godzilla 54, it's just wild and out of place.
He's
Yeah,
just
no,
straight up
legit.
lifted from that movie.
He is really
Designer.
just
Oh,
a
cool.
character.
Yeah, like I could tell the inspiration.
Yeah.
was definitely there.
When I say like 1-to-1
Mm-hmm.
from that movie, just instead of building the thing that kills Godzilla, he
just find it.
creates Godzilla instead.
Yeah.
And also just find
Yeah.
the oxygen destroyer, which has the actual Deus Ex Machina of
Yeah.
the Godzilla
Mhm.
54.
You know that weapon they just grabbed the fuck out of nowhere near the
Yeah.
end of the episode? That is straight up the thing from the end of Godzilla.
Oh.
Yeah.
That ends up like killing Godzilla in that movie.
Wow.
Like that's the end of that.
Mhm.
They just pull up and I was okay, first off, I hear the roar like in between when they're thinking
Yeah.
of plans and I'm like, are they allowed to do that? Like legally? And then suddenly they cut to the oxygen destroyer and I was like, that's just you're not even trying now,
You can't
guys.
do that.
The thing is, clearly they couldn't do the roar because it's not Godzilla's roar. It's like Fortnite licensing Godzilla but not licensing the roar, so
But
it
it
doesn't
sounds
sound
exactly
like
the
Godzilla.
same.
No,
It sounds the same
it's
to me.
It's not close, even remotely.
No, I disagree. It's close.
Nah, I know that
It
roar.
invokes
So
the
do I.
feeling.
It invokes the feeling, but having seen all 42 Godzilla movies, it's not even close.
Disagree.
Oh no, you do not get to disagree
I
on
do
this
get
one.
to disagree. I have that right.
So
Fuck
then
you.
we get to episode 4, which is just
Ghost stories.
let's go on holiday.
Episode 4 is mid stupid
Yeah.
Yes, agreed.
because the whole I was fully into the ghost story. I'm gonna
Mhm.
be honest.
Yeah.
And then at the end they just go, "Oh, it's all just a big
Life lesson.
roundabout lesson just to say stop being so gun crazy." You
I
pricks."
love
was like, "Oh,
how they're
come
so
on."
Yeah.
fully committed to kaiju, and then they're like, "Nah, ghosts aren't
That ain't real.
not ghosts."
That's
That's not real. That can't be real.
what
That
are you
doesn't
fucking
exist.
stupid?
It is Japan. Big sea monster? Absolutely. Absolutely.
But
Ghosts?
equally, ghost stories
Yeah,
are like a
that's the whole
foundational
thing.
element of Japanese. We have done a full episode
Mhm.
on that in the Halloween show.
Listen to that, by the way, if you haven't already.
Weirdly, people were listening to it recently.
Oh.
I was just looking through it. It showed back up as having a couple of views in the last 48 hours from
Listen to it
search
again.
terms. It doesn't show me which search terms because, like, I don't know, Google, YouTube could be weird like that. But yeah,
Yeah, I always like the concept of let's bring our main group of characters to a different place and have them experience something new.
Yeah.
I think that's always just, in its core, it just works. But then it ends just on the message, guns are bad, guys. And
We know.
they just kind of lost me because I was like, we couldn't done anything more
yeah.
profound.
Yeah.
Like,
This
we
is-
should care about each other is even more than I guess we should be careful when handling guns. Yeah.
Counterpoint, ghosts.
I think this is one of the interesting things
But
in the
not ghosts.
OVA, where I think it started as one thing, and as they were working on it, I think Oshii ended up turning it into a vehicle for something else. Where when you get to episode 4 and 5, it's like a shift in tone. It's much more serious, and the films are also a bit more serious. And like the second movie in particular, when we get to it, I wasn't going to bring this up because I didn't really want to color like your perception, but however I will mention it. It's a very heavy critique on both Japanese governance and also their involvement in a particular conflict around the time the movie was made, where they sent Japan sent like a peacekeeping force alongside NATO or the UN, I can't remember which one, into a certain place, and like that's sort of where the second movie stems from, and like it's only become more pertinent as time has gone on.
Because I'm glad you say that, because the sort of coup that happens in like episodes 5 and 6, like I feel like there was a message in there, but I feel like it also got sort of muddled, and like basically everything else that like I wasn't sure what the message really was.
I think it's the OVA kind of just suffers from not being fully refined yet.
Because like, it doesn't feel like it's criticizing like the police work or anything outside of like maybe Ota's gun crazy, but like he's never really like punished for that. Really.
And it's not shown as a bad trait, because like he's the guy that's like, I think we should practice shooting guns. Which I am like, I think you fucking should. And like, no, let's not. This is how people get killed.
I think his thing is he wants to practice with live ammunition.
That's the thing.
That's their main sticking point. It's like, we can practice, but you're not gonna get live deadly rounds.
It's funny how that's portrayed as well, because like that's the kind of whole point of the ghost story, is to show that, you know, maybe he shouldn't be so gun crazy. But one, it doesn't feel like he really learns that lesson. Because that episode ends with him just trying to like shoot the captain anyway. And jokingly, obviously. And then he's still like gun crazy throughout like the rest of the episodes, and like I feel like they want to show it as comedic, but in my head, and I'm sorry to bring up The Simpsons again as like a reference, but I kept thinking of this one Simpsons clip where like it's like the joke is a police force, and there's one clearly unhinged guy that's just like, when do we get the frickin' guns? It feels like that was Ota's character, and I was like, what are we trying to say here?
I think it's one of those interesting things where it does sort of like split from episode 4 into characters that kind of start showing development, and then into the TV show where every 23 minutes things just reset. You know, because like the TV show is very episodic. It's very like, and there's lots of different stuff in the TV show. Like you'll go from kooky wacky kaiju antics to just a normal beat cop episode to like this really deep introspective exploration of Ota's character, which is genuinely like one of my favorite episodes of the show. But the OVA is only 7 episodes, so it doesn't have time to do any of that, and is then immediately interrupted by, there's a coup. Huh? What? Where?
No, they just introduced that, and we don't know why. Why that's happening. Like, my main sticking point is when your villain doesn't explain what they want or why they are the bad guy, how am I supposed to be like, fuck him? Because it takes so long for him to go, oh, well, my terms for this government. Oh, thank you, you're a bad guy.
They straight up say it takes like 2 days for them to give any demands, so a whole bunch of the time even the characters are like, what the fuck is like going on?
What do they want?
What do you want? I sorry to jump in just real quick. I do want to state, I do like that it does come out like out of nowhere, because it feels, I like that sort of suddenness in the show, because that feels, I don't know if this is the right term, weirdly realistic.
Because coups just happen.
Like, just kind of happen.
Like, there's no real build up.
Unless you're involved in then you're not gonna know.
You're not gonna
coming.
know. You can go to your point
as
now.
far as like his motivation, it's sort of explained that like even his terms are pretty much just written in a way where he's pretty much just a madman. Bent on
world domination,
either killing a bunch of people or dying in the process. Like he has no real motivation, and that's what Goto's like whole hang up is. He's like, I think that the idea is meant to be like, at some point he maybe had decent points, decent
ideals,
and issues with the government or whatever. Whereas now he's lost it. He's just lost it. Yeah, he's lost in the sauce.
Yeah, which
better come sink than a sink in the cum.
Hey,
dude, please.
This is a family-friendly show.
Is it? Fuck.
I mean, no, but like, still standards, please. It feels like they wanted to build it up because like one of the last few lines in that whole arc is him going, "It's taken 20 years and from two people to get to this moment," and it's like, we don't know what the fuck he's talking about because they refuse to explain what it was.
Yeah.
And then it just ends, and then the next episode has nothing to do with fucking anything.
I think if it had just ended there, that would have been...
Oh, I would have been fine.
Yeah. I would have had a better, taste in my mouth leaving it.
It also feels a bit more final, because it does have that postcard memory at the end, where the credits kind of freeze on his face. Weird, but, it works as, this is the end.
Yeah.
You know,
this is done.
Yeah.
The stare scares me, but, it feels very climactic.
Yeah.
Truck episode.
First, Kai looks like a fucking Muppet.
He does look like a Muppet.
He does look like a Muppet.
And I cannot take a Muppet seriously. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Because that's just their whole thing. If you give me a villain who looks like a fucking Muppet, I'm not gonna take it seriously.
Yeah.
It reminds me of that one Lupin we saw where the main bad guy looked like Flint Lockwood from Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. And I just couldn't take him seriously anymore.
Wasn't that Sweet Lost Night, or is that one of the other ones?
It was either 7 Days Rhapsody or Sweet Lost Night. Yeah. It was one of the two.
God.
But yeah, it reminded me of that. I noticed that immediately, and I couldn't take him seriously.
Yeah.
No. I think character design is so important, and I think sometimes you just miss the mark a little, and you're hung up on it.
I think it's because they're still cartoonish in a way, but the character designs for the show are very grounded compared to a lot of stuff we've seen. And then sometimes just straight on shots of Kai's face don't work.
No,
they're trying so hard for you to take him seriously.
Because
there's a hand behind his face controlling his eyebrows, and you can see it.
Tim Henson's there. He's coming back.
It's like there's a description in a lot of books where it's like, someone says something and then the narration is like, he pressed his lips into a thin line.
Yeah.
And I've never been able to properly picture that as a thing someone does. And then there's the scene where Asuma has gone to Hokkaido and he's sitting in the noodle bar and Kai comes in. And Asuma just happens to turn around after eating his noodles and Kai's just sort of sitting, head fully turned 90 degrees, looking at him just with a...
the Kermit
full
scrunch.
straight line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2 seconds away from doing the Waldorf.
Hey, there's Kojima's best friend. Does Kojima know that?
Now, if it was him in the series, 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, no. That's after the coup finished. They save the day and he's like...
That's the credits. There's just Kojima sitting there going... Oh.
On a loop. Every 2 seconds it loops. Best series. But no. Just to go off of you mentioning Asuma, I feel like the main ensemble cast didn't really have enough fleshing out that I had any connection to them.
I rewatched the first episode of the TV show this morning because I had to confirm something, and it's that the OVA does the worst fucking job of introducing everyone, because it does just introduce everyone.
Yeah.
Everyone starts their day one in the first episode, whereas when I watched the first episode of the TV show, I had finished watching the OVA and I was like, I'm pretty sure this was not the case. And so I watched the first episode of the TV show and it's not. Everyone else is already at SV2 and our N is Noah. Well, she's not our N, but we meet Noah in the first episode.
Yeah, Noah is our connective bit where through her we learn what it's like, which is always, I think, if you're gonna go for a show that's in a pre-established scene, so to say, setting, get a new character in there episode 1 so we can learn the ropes along with them.
If you're doing a semi-police procedural, that's how you do it. Because in the show, everyone already works at SV2. You've got Goto obviously as the captain. Ota's already there as a pilot, but he's piloting one of the older mechs. Asuma at the time is his second. Yamazaki's just the truck driver. I don't know if Shinshi's there. Like, you don't see him in the first episode, but they go to pick up the new mechs, the Ingrams. And they're like about to see like a test unit that's almost finished, and someone hijacks it. Noah's there for her aptitude test to see if she can become the pilot. It gets stolen, and she chases it down and takes it back. And so that's like the introduction. Everyone is already established in SV2. Noah's the new element, and at the end of the episode they say, here's your new pilot, and it's Noah.
Because that's one of my main sticking points. Like, I thought Noah was such a bad main character.
And this, yes.
Like, I don't care for her. I think they infantilize her.
Yeah.
Way too much. Which, you know, I understand the whole child prodigy thing and all that, but they just made her seem little girl.
Yeah.
And it just, especially if you're introducing them all in a bunch, you're gonna get, you know, your one word descriptors. We have wife guy.
Yes.
Gun guy.
Yep.
Big guy.
Chad.
So, and then she was just kind of there, and the only thing you kind of remember is she's the girl.
Yes.
But she's not the hot girl.
No.
That's a different
That's a different girl.
Yeah, so as soon as different girl gets introduced, I'm like, that's hot girl.
Yeah.
This is child girl. That's not good that we're doing this.
Yeah.
There's two different hot girls, though.
Yeah, American hot girl.
American hot girl who's definitely not the least bit American.
She speaks English and everyone goes...
And then she speaks Japanese and everyone goes...
She's Japanese American from Hawaii. Get it right.
Yeah, no, they get way too excited.
Who lives in New York.
Yes.
Of course she does.
Of course she does.
Like all Americans.
She's every American and no American at the same time. It is kind of breathtaking when you really realize that. She has like, what, 20 lines across the entire movie.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
And I still liked her more than Noah. I wanted to like Noah.
Yeah.
So much because she's in the OP of the OV all the time. She's got different hair.
Yeah, the first
someone fucked up.
like 30 seconds, no, first maybe like 10-15 seconds of the OVA, she's colored with the wrong hair color for some reason.
It just does that in sunlight.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fun.
Because I was watching it, I was like, did I forget something about the character designs in this? And then just the next part of the OP plays, and I was like, never mind.
Yeah.
Because it's such a cutesy, fun opening.
Yes.
That it kind of gave me a little misdirect in the first episode. I also like how it kind of is woven into the episode sometimes with like it's playing on the TV. So fun. But it doesn't feel right for the show.
I laughed. I kind of laughed a lot when the OP played right in the middle of the coup. Like,
yeah.
Like, because that was a very serious, like, oh god, it almost feels like there's gonna be like some sort of conflict, and it's like da 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 da.
And then the 7th episode doesn't have an OP whatsoever.
No, and I initially was like, oh, this means it's taken a turn.
Yeah, I was watching. I was like, this is gonna be like a really even more serious episode than the last one.
Oh, like we're starting off silent, nice, like new logo, no opening theme. What the hell is happening? And then immediately, I just didn't care because there was zero tension throughout the whole fucking.
It's so funny that they seem to use that episode of the moment of going, I think we understand this series a lot better, and then proceeded to have the rest of the episode, and it kind of makes you feel like, no, you don't.
Yeah. You don't know what the fuck you're doing.
No, I know what you're trying to do, and it's not fucking working.
Yeah. I think that opening sequence where it does the new logo is the logo of the movie.
Okay.
Which makes it feel even more out of place.
Yeah, I imagine.
So
just to go in again, the plot was so dumb in that last episode.
Yes.
I keep harping on this, but literally the guy goes, why did I steal the truck? Just felt like it.
Yeah.
He could have literally just said
he had to get to his wife.
No, he literally could have just said the script told me to.
Yeah.
And that would have been the same motivation.
The plot demanded a truck was to be stolen. So
I was pointed
towards
towards it by the script editor, and I just went.
I fucking did it.
They take like entirely too long to reveal why, and it being his pregnant wife having a baby, and only showing that in the last scene is so dumb.
I almost thought it was a non sequitur.
No,
like they just did it to humanize him a bit more.
No, that's legitimately why he stole the truck.
I hate this fucking episode.
Yeah,
a way you can do that, but that would have like lowered the stakes. I understand why they didn't. of course, if you're like, I have to get to my pregnant wife, he'd be leaning out the window, yelling, I'm sorry, I have to get to my pregnant wife.
It's the fact that like he sees all the police reaction to him and he acknowledges it and then doesn't do anything about it. He's just like, well, better just keep going.
Yeah.
Like,
I have no brain cells.
Again, if this were the TV show and we're just a random episode in the middle of it, fine. It would work. It would be a little dumb.
Stupid, dumb fun filler.
Yeah.
Fine.
Yeah.
You can't end on it.
You can't end it on
Don't
it.
make it the
No.
climax
No,
of the
you
entire
can
OVA.
transition from a coup to this to the movie. Because, I mean, wanting to have a sandwich, sure, because I get it. Because essentially the movie's plot is similar to the coup episodes, but it's Nagamo, the other captain, instead of Goto. And it's a lot better in terms of construction and, you know, how it's conveyed, because it's a 90-minute movie versus 2 OVA episodes. But yeah, even then, you know, it's too lighthearted, too dumb, too like aimless for majority of its.
It's too brain dead to me.
Yeah, it's also a shorter episode, and yet it does not feel shorter.
No.
Oh my god, no.
I would have taken another kaiju episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It just, like, the entire... I don't think this season necessarily has a big, you know, definitive arc, but we kind of build up. You have this 2-episoder where you're like, the tension, and even those 2 episodes I don't think end with enough of a payoff.
Yeah.
So you go into the final one expecting what's gonna happen.
Yeah, you kind of expect some aftermath.
Yeah.
Or
While I was watching it, you had told me that it was a 2-parter, but I was still expecting like the last episode to basically be an aftermath episode showing like the consequences of the coup and like just people's reaction to it. Not even brought up.
No.
It's like it didn't happen. I want to bring up. I've mentioned this to both of you already, but I need to bring up. I didn't catch that like the missile had been stopped right at the end, because it kind of goes by pretty fast.
It's really quick, but Yamazaki's got his hand on the launcher, and like there's still that thing of like, we don't know if we've got the right one, and he crushes it, and as the metal like
Mike fail. Mike fall.
Mike Bunk.
My mic just spun a complete 180.
It just collapsed.
Yamazaki grabs it, and like this metal splits apart, and beneath it you can see like US Army or US Air Force or something like real quick. And that's pretty much the only confirmation of like he squashed the right one, which I'm like, don't squash the nuke. Don't squash the launcher with the nuclear missile in it.
Yeah, I feel like, you know, people love putting the whole, it's a nuclear threat, because that ups the stakes. Like, yes, correct. But we can't just go on and pretend that it's not dangerous to interact with such a bomb. It's like, oh, what if I just squish it? Like, don't fucking, please don't squish it. Please don't fucking, it's gonna explode. I just squish it.
Arguably, as long as he's not squishing the warhead itself, it should be okay. That's the
Still
only
risky.
real dangerous part of a nuclear warhead, is the warhead.
It's still risky though.
It is, yes.
Uh,
And a fucking giant robot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the precision you have, I don't think it's enough.
Yeah. Anyway, my main point from all that was that like he smashed the button. I didn't catch. I wasn't sure if it like stopped it, and like he does the dramatic turnaround.
Yeah.
And in hindsight, I see it's supposed to be basically him still on the deep end, even though he's been like squashed and stuff. But I saw it as like, oh, the missile's been launched, and the next episode's gonna deal with that. Never mentioned.
Yeah.
I straight up thought they just were just like, don't. It's not important.
It's not,
It doesn't matter anymore. And I legitimately got kind of angry because I was like, are we just not gonna focus on the actual important, interesting plot? What the fuck is this? I had to go back and check and be like, oh, they stopped it.
Yeah.
And then I just sort of felt empty inside, and that's why I was really angry at that last episode, and I still kind of fucking hate it.
That's fair.
Because I think if we look at all the like episodic arcs within it, there's a few that just kind of
yeah.
Like I think fucking Sea Goth Monster has the same feeling of emptiness, where he just kind of walks off.
You don't like him walking off into the sea?
No.
Well, you don't just like him going, I don't feel like it anymore.
Yeah, it's like, you're right, we've all learned a lesson. I'm like, no, you're still like a murdering little shit, but okay.
The stare and The stare between the staring contest between him and the guy though, that said 1,000 words. Peak writing.
Yeah, like the whole ghost stories thing where it's like guns are bad. I'm like, okay, that's a clear messaging.
Yeah.
You know, we looked into this. Oh, she died because it was a gun that went off.
Except she didn't.
No, except she didn't. But it's ghost. But it's not a ghost. It's all a trick. Is it a trick? I just that had more impact of an ending than either the coup episode, the 2-hour coup episode, or the actual fucking ending, which is so sad.
Yeah.
And like I did a quick scroll on IMDb, just seeing what people were rating it, because I was like, I can't just give it like a really low score. And everyone's like, this is the best thing ever. And the consensus was, of the whole show, like the whole universe, this is the worst.
Yeah, I would agree. I think both OVA series are the weakest parts of the whole show. The second OVA has its issues in that it tries to continue a storyline from the actual TV show, which is weird.
Yeah.
Because the TV show itself thrives on being episodic. This struggles from the fact is it a pilot? I kind of guess so.
It
attempts
to be. It tries to be.
It feels like it's stuck in like not entirely being sure what it wants to be yet.
Yeah.
And yeah. I was wondering whether to do this first or do what I did and watch the movies and then come back to this, because I think having some pre-established like idea of the series definitely helps in enjoying this a bit more for just
I can see
what
that,
it is. Whereas if this is the introduction, I kind of have to wonder, like, I guess it was sort of like, well, that's not happened in a while. We'll just let that ring out.
They're calling us to make sure that the coup went ahead.
I can't even see that. I don't think it says a number.
Every time that happens, it's a blast from the past. I haven't heard an actual phone ring like that in
I know,
years.
right? I hear my downstairs neighbor, elderly folk.
Yeah.
Sometimes, but that's it.
Last time I heard a phone like this was from like my dad's house in like 2017.
God.
Hey, there we go. I think it's
Okay. We return to our usual programming, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
This is a horrible introduction to all characters.
Yes. Yeah.
Absolutely. Because, I mean, you mentioned that this is not how they started in the other show or the movie.
No, the show starts like sort of in media res of like a crime going on. So you get like both the idea of Patlabor crime and then you have Ota being the person who responds to that crime. So you get an idea of him, you get an idea of Asma try to rein him in. Then there's,
the dynamic between...
Then you go back to the division headquarters, you see Goto and Nagamo interacting, so you get the understanding of their dynamic, their whole, like, because there's also that thing of, like, Nagamo kind of looks down on the second crew for SV2, because, like, she kind of sees... And the OVA, it's weird, because they just get the Ingrams, even though Division 1's already there. And could probably do with them. Why not hand down the old units to this new team? Why are they getting the new?
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up.
Whereas in the second in the show, I think they do get new units, and then so does the second team. So it makes a bit more sense. They go to pick. They go to like wherever they make them, the factory. To kind of see them in progress, and like they're almost finished, so they're there to see like the almost finished unit. Then it gets stolen, and Noah's there for a test, and she
saves the day.
And then she's introduced to them later back at the actual HQ place, and is introduced as the new member of the team. So it works it works on a fundamental level of introducing everyone, their dynamics, what's their shtick, and there's some characters who aren't introduced, which I think is a better way of doing it, because like you don't meet Yamazaki, you don't meet Shinji, you don't meet Kaneka. Well, you don't meet Kaneka until the second episode of the OVA anyway, but you also don't meet you kind of only really fleetingly meet the head mechanic and Shige, which I think also then works better because them also being the first characters you actually see in the OVA is really bizarre.
Yeah.
Because it's fine having those characters and making them like good characters later. Having them be the first characters, they're not that important.
No.
So,
like first introductions, especially I think in TV or anything serialized film or whatever, is so important.
Yeah.
Because it's like comments I get from lecturers all the time if I made like a short film or something is you don't focus in on your main character first, so we don't know who your main character is.
Yes.
That's the first thing you need to do. Who are we following?
Yep.
Yeah.
We want to follow Noah, but Noah arrives late. So immediately I'm like, who the fuck is this?
Yes.
And it's such a shame. Also, I don't like the bond she has with her fucking robot. It creeps me out a little.
Oh, I mean that never really goes away. That persists through. Well, not really the movies because the movies again tonally are quite different.
It's just here.
But in the show,
weird. I don't know if it's just the tone of this was wrong to do that with, but like I
think again it comes down to like the whole. We don't get enough of any one particular character.
Yes.
And like you say, it kind of makes her feel infantilized throughout most of the OVA. So I think it makes her relationship with Alphonse really weird.
Yeah.
In the show, it's much better, I think.
I mean, it's hard to make it worse.
Yeah.
The only place you can go is up.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I think that her infantilization is why it does.
Yeah.
Because it just feels like she's talking to a doll or a toy of some sort, like her imaginary friend. And I suppose if it's more of a, oh yeah, this is my car, but I call my car Betty.
Yeah.
Which is like people do that. That's fine. But because you have this character that's you're framing like a 9-year-old, it's just like, oh, that's how you named your little Barbie doll.
Yeah.
Sweetie, that's so cute.
That's adorable.
It's the fact that like none of the characters feel like we spend enough time with them over the 7 episodes to really get a sense of them, because it's like you said, it's like here's wife guy.
I do like wife guy.
I mean, yeah, he's funny, but he's also just wife guy, and that's it.
Yeah.
Here's gun guy. Here's
guy.
The big boy.
Guy. Asuma is just the guy.
No.
Yeah.
Hey. He's the president's son, so he's rich guy.
He's no.
Except
for all
not
intents and
really.
purposes, in this he's just a guy. Like,
Yeah, except that's like the only like thing they try to do to flavor his character.
Yeah.
And it only comes up like twice. We don't even see the president ever.
I kind of think the intention is that Asuma's meant to be a little bit of the straight man and the not like that.
I know. I just shut up.
Yeah, I know.
Like everyone's crazy kooky.
Yeah.
And then he's just kind of normal. Like I think the idea is within this dynamic of a really weird team of misfits. He's the
someone's got to be the
he's the straight man.
But they also make him the president's son. So my first instinct was, oh, so he's gonna be the rich kid that doesn't know fucking anything.
Yeah, he got hired based on fucking nothing. That guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, nepotism.
Exactly.
Except he's annoyed that he got hired.
And he's
I don't want to work here, and everyone's like, I'm sorry, but
yeah, and he's portrayed as just the straight guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And as we do find out later, he is straight, apparently.
Don't know how. I did have this funny moment as well from the Ghost episode. This is just a funny thought I want to mention. When Noah notices the girl, and like the implication is, oh, she somehow knows that that's the ghost girl, even though she's not seen the ghost. But I had a moment where like, because she's not really like, she's only really appeared in that part of the episode as like a character. My first thought was when she reacted to the ghost girl like that, I was like, gay? Are you crushing right now? Not the time.
Hi. Hello.
Just me with like the eyebrow raised and like the pride flag, like,
slowly raising pride.
They gone with that, the series would have gotten bumped up a point.
Yeah.
Nah, unfortunately, her and Asuma are like a.
Oh, that's so fucking stupid.
Yeah, it's weird. It's only like really vaguely done in the Q episode a little bit, but it kind of becomes more prominent in the movies. And it's a thing, you know, the TV show has more time to deal with it, you know. So
because here they just sprinkle it in and we're like,
yeah, it's really weird. And like I think it's the 5th episode where like he goes to Hokkaido and he's like in the house and there's the conversation between like him, Noah, and her dad, and the dad like gets up and like leaves.
That was a weird moment.
Yeah, and it's because like they're essentially flirting. And he's annoyed that he's watching this.
In case you don't know, they're flirting right now. They are.
But like literally the last scene, it was like, you should get married. You shouldn't be doing police stuff.
It's really heavily handedly like done, but at the same time it's very easy to just ignore it too.
Yeah.
I mean, Noah basically does.
Yeah.
And like, I kind of, I can't, even though it is kind of weird, I kind of prefer that she just literally doesn't care about anything else other than like the robots.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that'd be great.
That's like that's a better alternative to whatever the fuck she was doing with like Asuma and whatever that location is. Dumb.
Yeah.
This was a series.
Yeah.
It happened.
Yeah.
I think it's a bad introduction. I don't know anything, but just from a quality point of view, I could not see a successful franchise.
I think the only reason the franchise became successful is because so much of it came out in succession. So you had the OVA finishing in the June. The movie came out in the July. At the same time, the manga was coming out.
Yeah.
Then the following year, or no, I think even maybe the same year, I think maybe the September is when the TV show started airing.
Holy shit.
The longest gap was between the end of the TV show and the second movie, which came out in 94, I think. So there was 5 years between the first and second movie. But that's the only gap. Everything else came out within 1 or 2 years, which allowed it to kind of have its teething problems and come out safe at the other end. Whereas if it had just been the OVA and then like maybe we'll do a movie, we'll see. I don't think the movie would have happened.
No, because from this I cannot see a large audience being like, I want more.
Yeah.
Because they really left you with a sour taste in your mouth. Like, I don't really care what they do. Like, you've not hooked me with anything unless you are already interested in like its concept. I do not see a foreign audience like that isn't already into like police, mechs, whatever. They're not gonna connect with it.
I think this maybe would have been novel at the time it came out as well. Like, I don't think anything like this would have really existed. I think because like there is that distinction in mech stuff of like real robot and super robot. You know, real robot being Gundam and then super robot being Promare for comparison of stuff we've watched. But this is probably real robot in like the truest sense of the concept. Because even Gundam by the end kind of strays into super robot territory.
Yeah, the battle in space is kind of very...
Like the whole conflict at the end between Char and Amuro, where like both of their robots just get shot to pieces and like somehow Amuro can still sense where Char is, and then he survives and they all find him and they take down Aobaoku. It's all very, you know... Yeah. Whereas this, there's like no... Sure, it does like the kaiju episode, and it does the ghost episode, and it does the weird cookie stuff, but like it's still grounded in the sense of it's almost slice of life instead of a mech show. Because realistically, the robots don't show up as much as I think you would probably expect.
And I do really like the groundedness, because I think I do overall. I mean, I love Promare, I love Promare, and I did like that last battle, but I think as an overall like theme, I do like the grounded, like the on the level stuff, like a lot more in terms of like mech stuff, because I like, my brain just really likes all the mechanical sort of working stuff and like fix it and stuff. It almost activates the same thing I get from weird comparison, but like Fallout, where like you can see every like little part moving and like power armor or whatever, and it feels very down to earth. It's not like Power Ranger Zords. Like, so overall I like that. I just wish it had been done a lot better than what the movie did, because to give it a ranking, I'd give this maybe 6.5 just to jump on that.
That's very high.
I know. I mean, what are you gonna give it? Because I feel like you're gonna give it something higher than that.
I'm gonna give it a 9, just in the simple fact that I'm already like a fan of the series, so I appreciate what it's doing in the sense of like I like this series overall. So like I'm willing to forgive it being not a great element of the franchise just because it still fits within the larger franchise well enough, if that makes sense.
No, absolutely, because I think if you're connected to these characters and you just see this as an expansion from its universe, I think it works. But as an introductory
there's part of me, I think if anyone were coming into this new and they wanted, like, if they didn't want to just jump straight into the movie and wanted like actual introduction to things, I would maybe just recommend trying the TV show. Because there's also no commitment there. It's episodic. You're not committing to a big TV story. You're not committing to a big storyline. You can just watch like the first 7 episodes and see how you feel, whereas this is just such a hodgepodge of ideas that I don't think it works as an introduction. And like I've already done a big comparison of and explaining it, is the introduction in the show is much better, and it clearly saves more characters to be introduced later, which makes sense. I do think it does still do the same thing of introducing Kaneko in the second episode, because I think the second episode has Kaneko's name in the title, if I remember correctly.
Enter Kaneko.
I think it's like Kaneka activates or something like that. It's kind of weird.
She's a robot.
Wait, we were the robots
the whole time.
Oh no! So the first episode is called Ingram Activated. That's where I'm getting confused. The second episode is called Kaneka Has Come. Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun.
Wow.
I'm sorry.
That came very
Oh Jesus.
And then you've got episode 3, this is SV2, where it says at the beginning, Noah's introduced to life at the SV2. So it does a much more paced introduction of everyone, everything. So yeah, check out the TV series if you want to get a better idea of this, because generally the idea of the characters is essentially the same. And then you can probably segue into the movies, which are completely different, but are like on an artistic level very good.
I gave this a relatively low score for me, but like I am looking forward to the movie whenever we get to it.
I'm glad I committed to putting the movies in, whether one way or another.
Yeah. Sorry, Melina.
Score. Yeah, I have to give it a 4 because I just didn't connect with it at all. I'm not a huge fan of like police type of shows.
ACAB.
Real queen.
Hey, except for Brooklyn Nine-Nine. That's the only like
notable
where
exception.
I'm like, and I just like we talked about it. It's just not a good introduction to it. Also, it's just Paw Patrol with Max and that.
No.
Yes.
No. I'm gonna tell you.
This series is.
Paw Patrol is Patlabor with dogs.
Get it right. This came first.
No, I saw Paw Patrol first, so in my brain that's...
No, you're categorically wrong.
Well, in my brain I'm right, and that's all that matters. Yeah, no, I do look forward to see what happens with the characters, because it's just a matter of seeing something that people enjoy being fucked. Kind of, where you're like, oh, I can tell there's heart. Yeah. I can tell there's potential. I like the little episodic arcs. I think they're fun. Do I like the whole anti-gun messaging? No. But the whole when they had the surveillance truck that was full of like rockets or whatever. I think that was an episode where the tension was just done really well, and those contained episodes, I think, just had so much potential.
Oh yeah, that was Kaneka's introduction, where she plays like such a little role.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's almost like they didn't know what the fuck to do with her character.
Yeah.
And then they go, she's now on the team.
Ta-da!
At the end, she's like,
yeah.
Okay.
I swear, I kind of agreed. I think it was actually Ota that said, was she sent to us because she's exiled from New York or something? Like,
later on, what was it, like, I think during the coup.
Yeah, because like suddenly she's like a wild card of like an officer, and it's like, that came out of nowhere, but hey, at least you've got a character now.
Yeah. I think this is a series they started with vague concepts of characters. and they kind of found them as they went along.
Yeah, because Hanaka, she's like the detective in episode 4. She's the one that figures it all out at the end. Out of nowhere, by the way.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
She just.
Yeah, I've been looking shit up and I figured it out.
I was gonna say Sherlock, but honestly, more Phoenix Wright-esque.
Yeah.
So it just figures everything out off of vague bullshit.
Asuma tries to be Sherlock, down to calling Noah Watson at one point.
Yeah, but he sucks.
He's Watson.
But then, like, that whole characterization is just ignored until, like, the coup, where she's suddenly the wild officer who
blackmails
been
a
kicked out
guy.
of New York. Yeah. I mean, that was cool, though.
That was cool.
Oh, yeah.
If only it had been good.
Yeah.
No, I'm not dreading watching the movie, so that's good.
That's a big step for the commit. I'm proud of you.
You know, because with like Gundam, I didn't connect to it all. We had a lot to get through there. And like after watching, I think the first one, I was like, oh my god, I have nowhere to go. And here I'm like, no, I want to see. I want to see what they do.
I think Gundam's big problem is that there is no ideal way of watching the original series. Like, it's key to understanding everything. It's just that it was
clunky.
Yeah, it was a product of its time, a product of not really having a lot of faith behind it from the studio, getting cancelled partway through, and you know, then the movie cuts are clunkily done, and kind of both.
They just make the way they cut it makes them feel so long. And
while also excising a bunch of the character development you get from all the little episodes in between. So while the third movie is like the best way to see the ending, it's also like the rest of it's a bit
Yeah. So yeah, stay tuned for when we finally cover a movie.
Yes, which will be the next month.
Woo!
Yeah. It'll be one a month pretty much from this point until we've covered the 3 movies.
And there's only 74.
Maybe I'll wear you down to watch the TV show.
We'll see.
I genuinely kind of want to watch the TV show, maybe even just on my own time.
Yeah.
If we find ways to watch it.
You're
looking
staring at me
intensely.
If we find a way. Maybe
there was me saying, should I put the TV show up on our place where we keep these things? And you're like, maybe.
If you're working, you're doing it anyway.
But yeah, I think that brings this episode. It's a bit shorter than usual, but you know, I think a 7-episode overview. There's not
much.
Nah.
And it's not like they tried to put a lot in.
No. There is only so much you can do with 7 episodes, and it being both episodic and not episodic at the same time, you know, it has its own pitfalls and flaws. So so I don't know where we want to start. If you want to start with Battle Royale, or if you want to get Patlabor out of the way, because I know you probably fucking hated it, Melina.
You!
Hate's a strong word.
No, hate is not a strong word when it comes to mech stuff.
No, dislike. Is my
It's like baseline dislike.
Yeah.
I don't fuck with it. That's how I would
Get that thing away from me.
Ew. Ew. I don't know, like it's like you watch a movie where you're like, I understand that it works, but I cannot be bothered.
I love how you've said this about the one where the Patlabors themselves show up the least, by far.
This is barely a mech movie.
Yeah, this is a detective mystery at, you know, for the most part of the runtime.
I had the exact thought halfway through watching it, like, there's barely any mechs in here. Melina's still gonna fucking hate it.
I don't know, because we watched the series, and like...
Well, no, we haven't. We've watched the OVA.
Oh, yeah, the OVA. And
it's a series.
It's not the series, though. That's the thing.
It's a series of things.
It's good to make the distinction for those that have seen both.
Yeah.
And I just felt that we got to know the set of characters, so I'm happy we watched the OVA first. But then here they just felt so muted and just...
I think it's the difference of, like, a sort of... I don't know how to describe it, a different genre almost, because what you have is the OVA is like Mamoru Oshii directing an episodic thing, which sort of I guess is him going back to his roots of being like working on TV shows like Urusei Yatsura, and then you have like the movie and the other movie that we'll talk about next month, being him working on movies where he's a very different director, because like this has more more of a relationship with Ghost in the Shell almost than it does with the thing that it succeeds, which is the OVA series.
Definitely. Like, just to sort of jump in a little bit, there are a lot of mainly the sort of long panning shots of like Tokyo in general, and just like the long quiet moments. I was like, oh yeah, this is the guy that directed Ghost in the Shell.
You know, that sort of like it's used to a different effect here, but you have, like you say, the long panning shots and like just watching them sort of navigate the city while Kenji Kawai's score
just breathing everything in
kind of puts it under, because I think it really tries to paint a picture of like this version of Tokyo by doing that, but also like the sort of dead-endness of the pursuit of Eiichi Hoba. So yeah, like it's not that much of a mech movie.
No, it is. No. I don't know what it was about it. I think because it started just kind of dropping you into this like situation, so to say.
And media res. And media res. Though kind of not, because it is still the event that comes before, which is weird.
Yeah, no, it was just a choice, and I did like the premise of it, but there was just some bits where I'm like, I'm not feeling grasped enough, and I don't know if it's just the character's just feeling flat, or
I think it's like the more solidified characterization of everyone. Also, some characters just don't play a role in the movie. Like Ota's there, but he's kind of just his character. That's it. There's no character arc for him. It's the same with Big Dog.
Yeah,
Big Dog. Dude.
I missed Big Dog. I was like, where is the bro? He was so cool. He didn't do anything in the OVA, but man, he was a bro. Where is he? Is he safe? Is he alright?
But
also, wife guy like only has like a line or two.
That's it. Like a lot of the characters kind of, I think, reasonably get pushed to the side because it's an ensemble cast, and to do an ensemble cast in a movie like this, I think would have been too distracting. It already kind of got a little bit distracting in the OVA when there's only 7 episodes and all these, you know. I'm
not gonna mourn less Ota because I don't like Ota as a character. He's just a dick.
That's fair. I think for what we've seen so far, that's understandable.
If he gets better in the series, I'll change my mind. What we've seen right now, I don't like Ota.
Yeah,
I kind of want him to get fired.
But I think like for, you know, particularly Asuma and Noah, thank you. Don't know why I blanked her name. Michi was coming to mind, and that's not even any character we've seen today for these episodes we're recording today. I think it's like a solidification of characterization, at least for the Oshi versions of these characters. But also I will say them being muted isn't a bad thing for me, because it doesn't infantilize Noah, which I'm always gonna, you know, praise.
I think a little bit. I did know that it was a little.
She is childlike, but she's not infantilized. But that's just her personality, and I think there's a difference.
She's not an actual like 6-year-old in the body of like, I don't know how old she's supposed to be, like 19, 20.
Probably. She's probably like 22 or 3, because remember she's got to have gone through like
gotta have
police school and whatever the fuck.
But she's not got the personality of an actual 6-year-old. But like, I don't know. I'm sort of mixed. I like that she's not infantilized, but I also sort of feel where Melina's coming from with the characters being sort of muted, because it felt like a bit of Noah's personality was just sort of sidelined a little bit.
Yeah.
I feel like there was a way we could have like had her personality more without her being, you know, infantilized the way she was in the OVA that the movie doesn't quite do.
Yeah, I think it's maybe just because like she's not the main character in this one. Like it's very much Asuma takes the stage.
And I will say I mean, he's still sort of how he was in the OVA, but like a little bit muted, and that I'm okay with.
Yeah,
that I think works really well for the movie, and I was fine with that. So again, a lot of mixed feelings when it comes to that. Overall, I really like the movie though.
Yeah,
I think I think you're right that she's not infantilized, but I think she's written a little too childlike in this, especially when you put it next to like Asuma, who's kind of muted and a tiny just bit more chill. It's a lot to balance, especially in like the restaurant scene when they're having dinner together. It just felt off balanced, where I'm like, if we got more time with Noah where we kind of got to this is her personality instead of jumping in and being like, oh, this just feels strange to me.
I think I know better how to like say my thoughts now. It feels like Noah has less agency than she should throughout the whole plot.
Mm-hmm.
We only get that near the end of the movie when she's in the mech, and that point that was really cool. I really liked that. But like for the rest of the movie, she's basically playing second fiddle to
Asma.
And it's just kind of sucks because again, going off the OVA, she felt like she was supposed to be the main character, and then she wasn't the main character.
I think it is like that is sort of an issue with the OVA into the movies, is that the OVAs definitely frame Noah as the main character, whereas the movies kind of do things differently. Like here it's Asuma, and in the next movie it's pretty much Goto and the other unit leader, Nagamo. Because so it is weird. Like I like it because it does give you an opportunity to see more of the characters, because in the OVA series, like Asuma kind of doesn't do anything. He's just sort of there
until like the 2-part coup plot,
and even then he's just the guy. He's the normal guy.
He's the Martin Freeman. He's there. He is main character. What does he do?
He helps.
Kind of. More by circumstance than anything.
Whereas at least this movie plays with like the whole setup of his character of like him being the son of the mech company CEO guy.
I'm glad that's actually got importance.
Yeah, which I still think they could have played a little bit more with the dynamic of them, because like his dad never actually shows up in the movie. He's only mentioned.
I feel like a confrontation between the two would have been like a clash of worlds almost, and would have been so interesting.
I think it just sort of comes down to like the way the movie kind of goes about like dealing with the kind of not endless chase but dead end chase. Like there's no real antagonist in the movie.
No, not really. Because I mean, unless you count the virus itself.
It's sort of like, you know, the whole movie, Hoba's dead. We find that out only really at the end. There's that sort of like you're led to believe he's dead throughout most of it, and then there's that like twinge of he may be alive.
Like maybe he faked it, but then at the end it's like, nah, he's dead.
So there's like a kind of I don't know the right word to describe it, but like you end up with not finding his motive. You don't really know what drove him to do it and why these people ended up getting sucked into this story. It's sort of, and I think it's like kind of reflective of the real life experience of police, where like that just sort of happens sometimes.
Like you can have so many leads, but like if they all end up in dead ends, you're fucked.
And like sometimes you will close a case, but it doesn't mean you've got a nice answer.
In a plot like this, like you've stopped the main like threat, which is like, you know, all the laborers going like insane and stuff from the virus and all that, with the wind as well, which that's that's quite the plot when you really think about it. But like, then this is something I talked about you as well. I did feel kind of unsatisfied with like the fact that we don't know why he fucking did all this.
Was it a laugh? Like, oh, I just thought it'd be funny.
I asked you right after I watched the movie, and you just went, he was nuts.
That's like the only kind of takeaway you can kind of because I said like it's that simple, and I went, well, it's not really, because if you look at it, like we don't know why, and we never will. It's you just kind of have to speculate.
It's a fucking glass onion. That's what it is. Like, not sponsored.
Like you kind of have to just take what the movie gives you, and that's he kind of reveled in being called Jehovah.
He had a god complex.
It kind of gave him a god complex, and he went a little bit insane. Built a whole place around the Tower of Babel.
Which, you know, second time that's come up, by the way, and like twice in a row for our recording sessions. Isn't that fucking something?
Welcome to the religious season.
No,
no,
I don't want to find God. He's icky.
I'll find you first.
Man.
Yeah, as soon as that popped up on like the virus screens, like Babylon, I'm like, oh for fuck's sake!
Well, I mean, it should have been a dead giveaway when they mentioned the Babylon project.
Yeah.
I was holding out hope. I was like, not again. Not
again.
because
it's like early in the movie where like Asuma and Noah are being taken to meet Nagumo because she's testing the new labor, and like they suddenly bring up Babylon project and went, oh yeah, that's where this movie goes. Also, the actual, like, at the end where they're, like, jettisoning the levels of the tower, you kind of see the like, schematics, and, like, that shit don't make sense.
Nope.
No.
Like, structurally, design...
That is peak anime complex design.
Yeah.
Like, that is... You know what that is? That's a Mega Man, like, final area. That, like, you'd have a boss rush in there.
Purely built for the wind resonance.
For the wind resonance and because it looks cool.
It doesn't though.
It's supposed to look cool.
I could just imagine an architect watching it and be like,
no. Who designed that? Who approved that?
Let me look at a few things. let me do a quick Google.
The government. To get like way back up to like the point where like I felt sort of unsatisfied by the fact that like we didn't find any answer, and that can work in a story. I think that's fine. That's not necessarily a bad thing, but when I asked you and you just went, well, he was nuts, I was like, well, that's kind of anticlimactic when you say it like that.
Because I think you can get away with it being like, oh, he was just insane and he had this like god complex. If it was maybe explained how that came to be, like maybe something in his past, we got a fun flashback or something, maybe that would have helped.
I mean, they do mention like him being called Jehovah, and then like he locked himself in his office and had this whole complex thing. That's sort of it though.
Yeah.
Also, sorry we're mispronouncing like how it's actually supposed to be pronounced, but like Genova or Jehovah or it's like Yahovah or something.
Yeah.
No, okay, so this is
because they bring it up in the movie.
His nickname is Jehovah, but what you're talking about is the actual name in the Bible, which is Jehovah. However, it's not how the original Hebrew would have been pronounced. It's a translation. It would have been Yahweh or there's another one, but it's escaping my brain. I can't remember. Maybe it is Jehovah, but I don't think it is. I think it's Yahweh or something else like that.
I'm sorry, I had to bring that up because I feel like if one of us didn't, it would somehow get brought up in a comment somewhere eventually. I was like,
Goto just sort of offhandedly mentions it.
Yeah.
And like I think it only leads. I think the way it's presented only leads to confusion as to like Hoba's character.
Yeah, his whole. To me, it just. Oh dear.
What? Okay, we need to pause.
That's fine. Oh yeah, I forgot that was gonna be.
So it should just resume. Yeah, I've just resumed it. Shut up. Yeah. So a quick break there. What the fuck were we talking about?
Patlabor.
Yeah, I know that much.
I think we were still hung up on the guy that just went crazy.
Oh
like,
yeah. Hoba.
No,
yeah.
His whole motivation was he kind of lost it.
Yeah.
Which is kind of unsatisfying given what the theme of the movie feels like, very complex and all the sort of methodology.
Yeah.
If that's the correct term to really use here. But at the same time, we were sort of like, I mean, it doesn't fall completely flat.
Yeah.
At the same time, it's sort of that weird middle ground where it's like, maybe not satisfying enough, but at the same time, I sort of get why.
Yeah, it's an interesting one where, like, I think it's maybe not quite as prescient as the second film. Because obviously we'll get to that, so I'm not going to talk too much about that. But it's also maybe just a little ahead of its time, but, like, in a bad way. Because... it's a film about domestic terrorism. Before we really knew what domestic terrorism was.
There's no Brazilian football team.
Fuck off.
Look, it's a running thing at this point.
Yeah.
You gotta just mention it occasionally.
Like, because I think, like, had this been after, probably like the year 2000, because then we would have had stuff like Columbine and, other atrocities.
You don't want to say it.
No.
We've
mentioned it so much on this fucking podcast.
That's why I only said 2000. Cause
you're like, let's not.
I don't, because like I don't think it would have been as interesting as like a post 9/11 piece.
I agree.
Absolutely.
Because that would have changed what it is too much. Whereas if it was what? No. What?
So I think the story could have been so much more interesting if it at least had some type of a commentary on their reliance on tech. Maybe.
Yeah.
Because then it maybe that's.
But then
just my
again,
third
that's
worldview.
also still a little ahead of its time because that it's too prior to a reliance on technology because it's like the late 80s, so it's not even like it has the 90s boom in tech to work off of either.
There's no internet in this movie or anything like that. Like, they talk about like networking and stuff.
Yeah, like they still like there would have been no like dial-up either. Like this is before like Compaq and AOL and early internet networking.
The way computers would scream at you.
Yeah. Like it really is. Like he says we're networked in, but like all he's doing is connecting to the computer at the headquarters of of SV2. Like the most advanced tech they have is mini discs.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that happen. I was
like everything is stored on mini discs.
I was gonna say to you like, wow, I love early sci-fi like this when the most advanced thing, like you have giant robots and like all this complex stuff, but the most advanced storage device is these fucking mini discs that everything is on, and it's the cool high-tech thing.
Yeah.
No one ever thought we could probably go smaller with this at some point. No one thought that like, this is where the evolution of storage happened.
It's also like they went with mini disc and not CD.
No.
That was also becoming a thing at the time.
Yeah.
They didn't have faith in the CD.
That won't take off.
No one's gonna use those.
Not for storage.
I'm trying to remember what the capacity of a mini disc actually is, and it's escaping me because it's like 750 megs for a CD, and I'm pretty sure it's probably got to be less.
Yeah, definitely.
Like
for a mini disc, 500 probably. Yeah.
And I love that at some point he just pulls out a mini disc and says, "The virus is right here."
No, he pulls out the master.
Oh, the master of the HOS system.
The OS system, yes, which is a believable thing to do because archiving was fucking terrible back then.
Yeah. But it does feel a bit in current culture like you cannot use coincidence to drive your plot forward. You can only use it to drive yourself backwards. Like you can only use it to negatively impact your characters.
Yeah.
Because if it's positive, you're like, oh, of course.
It's a MacGuffin. Or
I don't necessarily think like him finding it as coincidence and that it's like reflective of the time of they just left that shit. Lying around.
Like I believe that.
Yeah,
no,
like
absolutely,
the time that it comes from, it's believable that someone would do that.
I'm gonna be real. I didn't feel like a coincidence to me. I was just like, you know what? Yeah.
There's probably like 4 other ones.
Like that whole like thing he's flicking through does not seem arranged.
It's
in
not
the
labeled.
slightest. No,
it's just a bunch of.
It's that pile of CDs you would have sitting next to your PC that had a random assortment of stuff.
But you know.
But you know.
You
no
know
one else
every
does, but
single
you
one.
know.
I used to have them. It just used to have like 6 different versions of Windows on them all.
Yeah, you just had the like no. The third one is this. So, like, okay, but what? This is not a storage system. It's so weird. I totally forgot it was like 80s. Even while watching it.
Yeah.
89.
It takes place in 99.
Yeah.
Because
so
it's doing for that, like, 20 minutes in the future sort of thing.
Yeah.
It does feel more 90s.
It does. Yeah. Like, I would have guessed early 90s if you hadn't told me this was, like, 80s.
Yeah. But I think it's that thing of, like, the way we observe decadology isn't as cut and dry as we, like, kind of talk about it in retrospect. Because, like, especially the way we talk about like the 90s, you can kind of divide the 90s into 2 different cultures because you have the first half and then you have the second half. The first half is sort of defined still by the 80s, and then the second half is defined by the internet, which then bled into the early 2000s. It's just that the early 2000s has a landmark event that kind of predefined the rest of the decade.
To put it in TV terms, I sort of put the 90s into like two different eras. You've got the Fresh Prince era, which was like straight off the 80s, and then you've got the Friends era, which is what we usually think of as the 90s, and then the early 2000s, which I swear we talked about it like one time a long time ago, and you once described the early 2000s as the 90s going through withdrawal.
Yeah, pretty much.
And that's stuck in my head like all this time, and I can't think of it any other way now.
It was a world setting itself up for a financial crisis, and you can tell.
Yeah,
but everything was so cool. Look at all this cool stuff we could do. Don't think about 9/11.
No, don't mention.
Don't think about it. Think of this bright future we've got with like the internet and technology. Everything's gonna be great.
We can do anything now. Wow.
Do you have any other points to make, Melina? My train of thought's been thoroughly derailed.
I mean, like, it was almost comical when they were like, okay, the way the buildings are, the whole wind whistling and wind howling, I thought was interesting. But then they went, well, thank God there's not going to be a typhoon. Clicks the news on. There's a typhoon coming to take you.
I do wish that had been like mentioned at least a little bit more in the background.
The fucking like flashback to Back to the Future with like the newspaper of storm tonight.
It like, just felt a bit,
you know, like just to... The only other thing I can think that has a similar idea to this is Your Name. And at least Your Name sets up the comet in the first fucking scene. Where like Mitsuha wanders into the living room and there's the news report talking about the comet coming in.
So we know in the back of their head.
Foreshadowing is a literary device.
But in here it's just like as soon as they're like, well, at least you don't need to worry about any winds higher than 35 miles per hour or whatever.
At this specific news. Like speed per second. Hey, news person, what speed is that wind again? Exactly what you just said, main character.
No. And it's so easy to do. If they just were like, first scene of the movie, let's say, or an early scene on, we gotta reinforce the arc because the typhoon is coming.
But there's also
we're getting stronger winds at least.
Nothing about the movie until the typhoon hits indicates typhoon season in Japan.
No.
It is the midst of summer.
But that typhoon last week was crazy. I hope we don't get another one.
Like, they look like they're in the middle of summer, like, complaining about the stickiness, the humidity. I can't remember if there's cicadas in the sound design because that's like an iconic thing that they do for
one of the times they're just in a flat where like they've just got tank tops and like short shorts.
The actual scene where we find out about the typhoon has them sitting dressed like that.
When he's hanging out the window, like I was just like, whoa, calm down there, monkey boy.
Yeah, and you've got like
you're still in your pajamas.
The detectives wandering around and he's like, that got his jacket like slung over his back. It's clearly fucking warm.
Yeah.
What do you mean there's a typhoon incoming? There's no rain.
It's because the plot demanded it. Unfortunately.
The rest of the movie felt so smart and so like put together. And then this feels like the most apparent sort of we gotta have something for the climax.
Because I think it was Noah that saw like a wolf howling or something and was like, wait a second, howling, the wind.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was the dog, wasn't it?
Maybe a dog. Yeah. I was like, see, that's a clever way to do it, where you have something that starts your brain and then they had to
see the gears working.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's always an interesting thing to do. But then they had to ruin it by being like, well, it's fine unless the winds go up to 35 miles per hour.
Hey, what is the news? Oh no.
And I don't know, I just felt like the final scene was a little anticlimactic because of that. Because we didn't have this tension of, oh god, I know it's coming. They clearly haven't connected the dots. Oh god, the tension.
There's no suspense.
No, it just... the typhoon is coming. Well, if only we got a warning before this. Like, I think it's been on the news.
Yeah. Okay, let's just turn it off. Oh, there we go.
Oh, there we go. Oh, shit.
Speaking of anticlimax a little bit, just to like preface this, the whole of the climax was mostly great. I liked the whole, like, to just sort of jump ahead to that, the whole battle, the moment where what's her name?
Noah?
No.
Which character? I don't.
Japanese American girl.
Kanaka.
Like when her labor goes insane because of like the virus and stuff, and they have to fight her a little bit. That's cool. But the movie ends right after that.
Yeah. Because they've destroyed everything. They've jettisoned all the shit off the Ark.
It's like we've got nowhere else to go now. Credits.
Yeah. Also, robot birds.
Robot birds.
Robot birds.
Birds.
The birds.
They're just
that are
birds.
robots.
They're just birds.
Birds.
No
Yeah.
robot birds.
But they had like glowy eyes.
Birds.
You know that's how birds' eyes react to
I'm
light,
not a
right?
From the way they
particularly
glowed,
bird-like-
I don't blame her. I thought they were also robots for a
Yeah.
second.
No,
I
that's
thought
just how bird eyes react in certain lighting conditions.
I'm not a bird connoisseur myself, so.
I mean, you film, like, come on, like.
I've never filmed a bird.
Yeah, she's not a bird girl.
Okay. You know what? I'm
Never
not
in
gonna
my
belabor
life.
the point too much.
Bird.
Red eye is extremely common for a
No, but
reason
yeah,
in
but from the
photos.
way it's drawn and the way it looks in that shot, I don't blame you for like. And like for a split second, I thought the movie was gonna do a massive jump because we see that bird like fly away from Jehovah. I keep wanting to say Genova.
No,
Geneva.
different.
Geneva Convention. But Jehovah, because I forget the actual character's name, but he's like he has a bird that flies away before he commits like suicide.
A crow, yeah.
Yeah, and then we see it again, and it's got like his ID and stuff. I thought the movie was gonna do a massive jump and say, I put my digital consciousness in this robot bird, and all these birds are actually me. Didn't happen.
No.
Glad
Yeah.
it didn't, but
No,
I was
yeah.
so ready for it for like a second.
What was even the point of the birds?
Birds.
Just birds, like,
Okay,
because
cool.
the that control room wasn't getting used.
So the birds took
So
over.
birds.
Pretty much, yeah. Like, if you leave a window open, birds will, especially that high up,
Yeah.
birds are gonna nest.
And it was in the ocean, technically.
Yeah,
on
so
the
like
Earth.
that's a perfect place.
It's so funny.
It's slightly off the
Who
coast
left
of
the
Japan.
window open? Who?
I mean, he did jump. No one's gonna be thinking about closing the doors.
Yeah, the birds just kind of took me out of it. Like, whoa. Because because we're going through the this is where we stored this,
Yeah.
this is where this is, and then this is the bird room.
Yeah.
Huh.
It's like the room they're trying to get through throughout the whole. They're trying to get to
Yeah.
throughout the whole climax as well, and then it's just birds.
Yeah. That's like
Birds.
when you go to like a clock tower, like up the top, there's usually
yeah,
like
yeah.
birds' nests and stuff like that. So like that's
I just didn't think to connect those dots. I was just like, what the fuck?
But yeah, no one's gonna think, oh yeah, birds. That makes sense.
Yeah, someone probably left the window open.
Yeah.
That's not my first thought. My first thought was robo-birds.
I mean,
Mm-hmm.
okay.
It's a sci-fi movie.
I'm realizing I might be the only one that realized the crow represents death.
Well,
then.
no, of course.
Yeah,
Well,
just-
yeah,
Crows
no
represent
shit.
death.
No,
Yeah.
but like that's kind of how we. I think it's on rewatch. Like that's how you know Hoba's dead the entire
Yeah,
movie because
yeah.
like it's a crow that
Yeah.
flies away and we hear cawing at that opening scene,
Mhm.
which you don't connect the dots until
Yeah,
the
yeah.
end. 'Cause,
Oh
like,
no.
why would you?
Yeah.
It's
But-
just in that opening scene when he's got that like master plan grin that he has
Yeah.
before he jumps off. I was just like, hey, just like my plan. Fly away, bird. Do my bidding. Find my pages. I genuinely believe he has said find my pages at some point in his life, thinking he's a genius. I believe that for this character.
No one's gonna get
I
that.
don't care. I get it. You're laughing.
Look, to me, I would think that's a Slender Man reference. But
I mean,
don't
it
think
is, technically.
It is technically yes.
Yes.
If you go one layer down.
Yeah, one layer
Oh,
down.
okay.
Find my pages. Who? Melina.
Stop it.
I'm checking my notes.
You got a message.
I didn't.
Are you sure? Someone
Yes.
did.
I didn't get a message.
I didn't.
I heard the thing though.
My watch would have dinged if I did.
Maybe it was just too cold. But yeah, I don't know. I wish there was a little more tension in the climax for me. I don't know. I felt like it was going up and down a bit in like suspense, and I don't know.
Yeah.
It just wasn't vibing with me.
Mm.
But I did like having Asuba as a main character because
Mhm.
in the show he was very much my dad owns the company.
He's the straight man of the group.
He's a straight guy.
Yeah.
He's
Kind of makes it
Guy.
a little boring.
Yeah.
yeah. And finally he actually got personality, but unfortunately I think that went at the expense of most other characters.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I get you.
it is the thing where like the main
difficult.
characters kind of shift almost up a level,
Mhm.
where like it's in the OVA it's like the squad,
Mhm.
and then the distinct characters are like Goto and Nagumo.
Yeah.
And then here it's like it shifts up a little bit where you've got kind of like not the team leaders, but sort of in lack of any team leaders, you have Asuma and Noah, and then you have like Goto and Nagumo.
Yeah.
And so it focuses on like them more. Also, but obviously Nagumo's a different unit, so like she's still a little more distant. So like it kind of pushes everyone down a level, which means that some characters who don't have a lot of function for the story just kind of don't really appear a lot, like wife guy whose name I'm completely blanking on.
He's wife guy.
Big dog.
Gun guy.
The big dog.
Is gun guy?
Gun guy's no. Big dog is
it's too different. Yeah.
He's big dog is like the monster with the heart of gold. Yeah. Tomato guy.
He had a brother bonding moment with the kite.
Yeah. And Ota has like more of a presence, but that's just because he's a fucking loudmouth.
Yeah.
Also, sadly, Shige's not really in the movie a whole bunch, but like, if he were, he'd have foiled the whole fucking plot immediately.
Yeah.
Shige showing up like right at the end, like right before they figure everything out, as pure like, if he had been here from the start, this just wouldn't have fucking.
This movie would have been half an hour.
This is like where the Doctor isn't in an episode because if the Doctor were here, he'd have just had it all done and dusted.
Yeah. Like if you put him in Blink for like throughout most of the episode, the angels are like fucked within 5 minutes.
Oh god. I think.
Yeah, no, that's my points. All done.
Yeah. I like this movie well enough. I'll say it that. But I do ultimately prefer like the next movie. I'm just pulling up
my final point that I just want to bring up because it was funny. I like the main plot of like the main plot point of what stops like the main laborers from going insane is that I just didn't feel like installing the new OS.
Yeah.
Again, that's what I mean by like if Shige had actually been around.
Yeah.
You guys didn't read the terms and conditions.
I just loved it. He was like, man, glad that worked out for me. Otherwise, whoo.
I mean, it feels like such a.
No, it's believable.
That new Apple update. I just forgot to install it. Y'all's phones blew up.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, that's legit.
That's
me like holding off as long as possible to install Windows 11.
Like.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, talk about a man that saw the red flags and was like, nah.
I was gonna wait until they forced me to, mate.
Yeah.
So yeah, scores.
Even though we've talked about its flaws a little bit more, I feel like in this than I expected to, I'm still giving it an 8.
Yeah.
I still very much enjoyed the movie.
I gave it an 8 as well. That's sort of where.
I'm at a 5.5.
Yeah, of course.
I was expecting
adequate.
a 4, not gonna lie.
Really? No, because there were like very interesting bits, but it just lost me at points where I was like, it's just a shame.
Yeah.
And it is so funny talking about, because I never really look into a year and all that. I go in blind, as I always say. And so I would not have placed it in the 80s at all.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
It's the sort of, it's 89, so like right on the cusp of, the 90s. But I think it's like that sort of thing of maybe it's weird because like even though it's like a police procedural, like you can kind of feel an undercurrent of where the people who made this is political leanings are, and that's that they're maybe not the most supportive of where Japan was at the time.
Really?
That's insane. Where'd you see that? No one said that.
Which is maybe what gives it like a little more of a, less 80s feel,
Not that line where I'm pretty sure I'm paraphrasing, but I'm pretty sure the intent is like, I got a good heart which makes me not a great cop or something like that. And it's like, I mean, real, but also... I didn't expect that from this anime.
Yeah, it only becomes more prevalent.
Oh yeah, like movie. That's ahead of its time for a good reason.
That's great.
Okay. What?
I don't know.
Anyway, let's move from a weirdly apolitical political movie to an actual political
to holy
movie.
shit, this is right after the Cold War, huh? Just go right in.
The USSR has just fallen.
Yeah, and you know, Japan is going through.
The USSR has fallen.
No, but like, Japan is going through
Yeah.
shit right now.
This would have been... So this came out in 93, so this is like right after their economy crashed, and right after the USSR fell, and right after their SDF was utilized in a NATO peacekeeping operation.
Which was very, very controversial because
the SDF is the self-defense force. Self-defense.
Specifically,
they are not a standing army.
Yeah, specifically built up because directly post World War II because, well, you know what Japan was like pre World War II.
Constitutionally and I believe legally on a world stage sense, Japan are not allowed to have
a standing army.
Any sort of military force that can be used against.
It was written in their constitution, if I am correct.
Yep.
If I'm not, please correct me.
I believe that's correct. Part of me's thinking Article 14 specifically, but I could be wrong.
14, Amendment 7.
You know Article 14. We've all read the Japanese Constitution.
I can't remember if maybe I'm completely misremembering, but Article 14 either has to do with the SDF or the police force, which you know both relevant.
Yeah, both basically the whole like core of the film right there.
So you can sort of see that Oshi has a certain feeling towards that peacekeeping operation, given the opening of the movie.
You think?
That's crazy. That's crazy.
I don't know how you got that. It just seems that's a very subtle thing.
I think that's purely coincidence, my guy.
Yeah. Shut the fuck up! You made that. Absolutely not. Go fuck yourself.
I think you're reaching there. I'm sorry.
God, what? Why do you have to bring politics into
anime?
Yeah,
you always bring politics into it, as if life affects movies.
God, I miss old classic anime, which never had any politics in it whatsoever. Just like my video games.
Yeah, I liked when it was just fun movie about a brother who's protecting his sister from the bomb. Oh, those good old days, you know, when it reflects nothing about real life.
You know, when I could just escape.
Yeah, you know, when
I could just have a good time.
When Akira was just about, you know, the big brain elements of stuff and not at all about student rioting.
No, where are you getting this from?
God, my favorite anime, I love Evangelion and how much I can just escape and not care about my real life. That's what it's all about, really, isn't it?
Yeah. God.
The point is like stratosphere like above my head.
It's literally the Gundam meme of cool robot. War is bad.
Well, cool robot. Okay.
I do love that they're like, let's not make the beginning political, and then they're like, somewhere in Asia.
Yeah. Somewhere in.
Like. They were like, if we name a country, it's gonna be too political.
So we can't be specific.
Somewhere.
We can't be specific, but it is almost one-to-one what just fucking happened. Yeah. So you know.
Somewhere with someone who was probably named this platoon number 74.
Yeah. Of the battalion.
If I'm remembering correctly, I believe the operation took place in Cambodia.
Yeah, I think
somewhere in Asia.
You know, Cambodia.
Yeah, somewhere in a country that rhymes with Bambobia.
Bambobia.
I did like the spider mech design. It was funky.
That's cool.
Yeah. I mean, isn't that the whole Spider-Man? Unless I'm like misremembering, isn't that like basically what comes back in Ghost in the Shell for the end of that movie?
It's a really similar design.
Yeah, because that was like, I mean, Mamoru Oshii. I can't help but mention this is Ghost in the Shell just before Ghost in the Shell.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And I fucking love it.
Yeah,
it is so good. I mean, I love this movie. It is dense as hell, and I feel like I got lost in a lot of places, which I'm sure we'll talk about. But I really fucking love this movie, just to actually get my thoughts out.
I had some problems with how much they were just fucking talking.
I mean, that's sort of the point.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like
there's a lot to say.
Yes, but there's a point where like, oh my god, can we just see something happen?
I don't. Okay, I think this is sort of like where you're gonna end up being either Patlabor 2 or Ghost in the Shell is Mamoru Oshii's best movie, and I think it comes down to like Ghost in the Shell can get away with just scenery and music stuff, but Patlabor 2 has to do a lot of talking and a lot of explanation because it is a political thriller where so much is not happening while so much is happening that we can't see, and by showing the stuff that we can't see sort of undoes any sort of tension that might come later on.
I don't know.
I'm sorry, I'm just thinking of the scene where like he gets on the boat and he just starts talking about like the just war and unjust peace stuff, and I'm like,
yeah, I've got to know. After Expo car scene is too long, more exposition in an aquarium. Stop talking. War's bad, we know.
I'm sorry, that's the best scene in the movie.
Like visually, sure. I just wasn't gripped. I was just like, can we get some? It's so long that I was like, I need you to make some of this time pass faster because I don't want to feel like I'm sitting here.
Okay. I do want to jump in here. I get where you're coming from, Michael. Yeah, it is a really good scene in the movie, but I also do really get where Melina's coming from, where it's like there's so much like going on, and like that scene is really good, but it depends on if you feel like at that point in the movie from when you're watching, if you can handle like 5 different themes coming on at like the same time in like one conversation, and like you do run the risk of it going, okay, this is getting almost abstract.
Yeah.
And I don't know, and it's starting to sound like you're not making any fucking sense. And I don't know if that was just like at that point I was tired or like at that, or my brain's just too dense to really get it all, but it does feel like it's going unjust war, fake peace and all that. It's like, are you just speaking in circles to waste my time right now, or or is this like something deeper going on that I don't get? I suspect it was the latter.
It's, I think the Patlabor 2's equivalent of the boat scene from Ghost in the Shell, where it's the thesis of the movie
that
like,
was done very well in that movie.
And
to go off of what you just said on if you think Patlabor 2 or Ghost in the Shell is his best movie, after seeing this movie, and I do really like it, I am still firmly in Ghost in the Shell.
I mean, Ghost in the Shell wins over for me too.
Yeah.
But I think that also just comes down to like, what do I prefer? Is it something a little more sci-fi heavy? Then yeah, it's Ghost in the Shell.
I like the cyberpunk.
But yeah, no, that scene is like just like the crux of the movie. Like that's the scene where like you kind of get why nothing is happening, because so much of these things is that even for the people in the midst of government and the midst of police and stuff like that don't usually see the larger picture or the unjust things that are going on. It's why that is, you know, an unjust peace, which is like, you can sort of say that everything post World War II is an unjust peace.
Post and pre World War II, like that's basically human history with war, like right there. Like a lot of bloodshed comes for. I don't want to fall into that Peter Capaldi speech in Doctor Who, where like it always ends up with two people sitting down and talking.
Yeah.
And Justin think of like what they were always going to do from the beginning. But it takes a lot of fucking bloodshed to get there, and it is a fascinating thing, and they talk about it really well in the movie. I do really like it, but like at the same time, the way the dialogue is and the way like how so much is happening, it's such a dense conversation. You do end up falling into that risk of like the iron wall falling down on your brain and going, I can't take this in.
Part of me did consider screenshotting the whole conversation and playing it out here between us, just so that for the viewer's sake, I think it would have been like something a bit more, one, different, but also to, I think, either to sort of clear up and at least pick at some of the points that the speech makes, and I didn't.
I don't get to voice act?
No. But yeah, no, I had something I was going to say.
Oh, you lost it. It got too lost in the sauce.
I have a lot about this movie that I want to say, and I just
I remember my thought to go back to the Ghost in the Shell thing. I feel like that edges it out for me, because it feels like even though Ghost in the Shell was based on something previously, like because the manga came out like beforehand, but it feels like Oshii was a lot even more able to make that whole movie his own thing, and because of just the type of world it takes place in, you can do a lot more of the themes just through visuals and from the music and from the long panning shots that I fucking love that he does. I did a whole rant to you in like our Discord like call, or like not the Discord call, like our little messages we do, where I was like, I fucking love these things. But like Ghost in the Shell was able to do that far more naturally, whereas Patlabor 2 is sort of saddled by the fact that it is Patlabor 2. And it has that baggage of the OVA and the movie, which feel it has the same characters, and some of the themes are built upon because we had the whole coup thing in the OVA, and the last one was also a political drama, which, you know, they do fit in as a series. It's just this one feels in a lot of ways very disconnected and like a completely different thing.
And it's always been a real rock and a hard place for me when it came to whenever we did get round to this, as to, do I just say fuck it and we just watch Patlabor 2 first? Because like, you don't really need anything before it.
I understand that, and I even had that thought of, we possibly could have just done this on its own, but I decided that wouldn't have been right, and you made the right call. Because I feel like having the familiarity with specifically I have their names written down because I always forget.
Goto and Nagamo.
Yeah, between those two specifically. Which, I mean, back in the OVA, I would never have suspected they'd basically be the main characters of the movies. But I feel like having that familiarity with them helps get me into this movie more on like my end. Because like, if we had just watched this on I'd be like, who are these people?
Yeah, it clears up a lot of the unspoken parts of their relationship within this movie. Because there's even like scenes where when she like storms out of the office and to go set up shop in a different office, it's like clear at that point that a lot of the conversation building up to that is like some kind of tension between them, of like, whether it's unrequited, we don't know, but we know from the OVA that Goto is into Nagamo. But like, without that, it's like it's too subtle. If you're only watching,
that could go completely over my head if I had just watched this like independently. But the thing is though, it does have the flip coin thing where, because it suddenly feels not like the other few movies, even like the last movie, I had the moment where I was like, where are my guys? Where's Noah? Where's my crew? I'm missing them heavily because I love them, and also because the characterizations are a bit different in this movie as well. Like it works as a show of time progressing, but it also feels like, where are the characters that I love? I get that. I like that it focuses on Goto and Nagamo because it allows it to be something a little elevated from like the first movie and the OVA, where like it sort of boots on the ground and you know, kind of, it is goofy, and the first movie does do something to kind of make it a bit more serious. But the first movie does feel like a good bridge between the two now that I've seen everything. But I think just focusing on Goto as a main character specifically, where we have like obviously the whole first movie and OVA where like everyone's like, he's sharp, he's smart, he knows, like, and it's almost like they don't know why he's in the position he's in. It feels like they're saying he could be a whole lot more, but he's a dumbass. So, or like, you're limiting yourself, man. Why aren't you trying more? Why aren't you more ambitious? And so in this movie, I think it allows him to shine as the smart guy, who's maybe just a little bit ahead of the audience at times as well. But he likes where he is as well. But he likes where he is. Really like the SV2 crew, which, I mean, fair. Yeah. But like, I'm taking a lot of this like right now as a discussion, but like another thing I want to mention is that, so throughout all these like watching, I have liked the character of Noah, even though she's had problems, and we talked about that. Like, I like her design a lot better in this one. I get we talked about infantilization in the last ones, and I feel like this movie, it almost feels like it took that as actual criticism and like, okay, time skip, Noah's grown up, as I've sort of described it. She's not as that sort of infantilized anime girl protagonist from the time period where like she seems sort of silly, but at the same time, it feels like a bit of her personality's gone.
Yeah.
Like, it makes sense, it's realistic, but at the same time, there was a part of me that's like, I kind of miss you a little bit now.
Yeah.
'Cause I think, having a female character still have these almost childlike joyous moments as an adult, I don't think it would feel weird. Everyone still experiences joy. You can have someone still be like, oh, I really love doing this. And she just felt a bit like, oh, she's grown up, so she can no longer be excited.
Yeah.
She's had to subdue herself because she's grown up.
We're all adults here, but we're still kind of little dumbasses sometimes.
Yeah, like, just because you're an adult doesn't mean you now have to be all serious. You're still, everyone's a child at heart, I find.
What's the point of being grown up if you can't be childish sometimes?
Yeah.
I think Noah's like whole thing in this movie would make a whole lot more sense if Ota wasn't just fucking Ota.
Yeah.
The whole movie.
He's still himself.
Because the way this movie's written, the way everyone is so much more subdued, even compared to the first movie, it makes him stand out like a sore thumb. And I'm glad he only has like 2-3 scenes max.
Remind me of who he is. Is he
Gun Guy?
Gun Guy. Okay, yeah.
He's the instructor.
He's insane. Yeah.
Okay.
Like, he's just still fucking...
Gun Guy.
Yeah.
They could have had that whole point where he's the instructor and being like, he's still a bit of himself, but like, he's like matured, he's like he's straightened up a bit, and he's sort of a bit more held back in his impulses, but no, he's still Ota.
He's still Ota.
And I was kind of frustrated because I was like, you get your personality, you get to stick around. My least favorite one? Fucking really?
Because you think at first he has matured and evened out a little bit, because
like him being an instructor, that makes sense. That feels like a natural character progression.
Because not only is he being an instructor, he's enforcing the idea of like, your equipment can fail, your partner can fail, all these things can go wrong. You need to prepare.
Don't be so gun-ho.
Yeah, you need to prepare for that 1 in a million. And then immediately just starts fucking yelling and blowing shit up and
damaging equipment.
And it's like, oh, okay.
Never mind, you're the same guy.
You get to be an anime character, but
nobody else does?
Noah has to be a grown adult woman.
Yeah.
With no specific personality traits.
With none of basically our lasting personality gone. Like, there's even a point where it is a nice scene where like her and Asuma, who, by the way, I forgot Asuma was even here. I'm not gonna lie.
He's so not in this movie.
Imagine, I mean, he was like the main character, like the last one. What a downgrade. But like, they have that little conversation and like, we don't have to do this, we can go back. And Noah has that. It is a nice moment of, I don't want to just be the girl who's in love with her labor. Like, and that would be a good scene, but like, it feels more like they've sacrificed her entire personality, and like, she can still have a deep appreciation. We even get a hint at that earlier in the movie. It's just like, don't forego it completely. Just have her grow up a bit. Not transform.
Because that's, I think, what I was like stuck on the most is like, you have all these characters that you've been developing and like showcasing their skill over time, and you're just choosing to sideline them and strip them of their personality. So all they are is, hey, they're here.
Yeah.
You remember that?
So we're just focusing on Gojo, who is an interesting character, and Nagumo, also an interesting character, but I don't even think, I mean, they have some development over the course of the movie, but everyone else is just there.
Yeah.
So the emotional impact of the group is just not there, especially when like Gojo at the end is like, and we're all a family. I'm like, you don't even know these people anymore.
Everywhere you look, everywhere there's a labor, there's a labor.
It just, to me, it came out of nowhere. It's like, what do you mean, family? You've been out here on your own this entire time, and you're suddenly like, at least we did it together. I'm like, with who?
Yeah.
With who?
Dude, 99% of this movie has just been you.
Yeah.
My guy. It really felt like the end is when suddenly Oshi realized, oh fuck, this is a Patlabor.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Fuck, we gotta get the mechs.
And then we all sit and have a good time.
Yeah, right after like a part of the third act where they make a point to destroy the mechs.
Yeah.
I find that so funny because they're like talking about like new labors, and obviously you have the scene at the start where Noah's like test piloting a new one.
And that was so cool.
Yeah. And then the fucking helicopter just wrecks everything.
Which could have been such an emotionally impactful moment.
Yeah.
Like, it kind of reminded me Age of Ultron,
Yes.
where he takes all of Tony's bots and stuff, and you could be like, oh my god, what does he have left now? Oh my god. But it was just kind of like, oh, okay.
It's funny you mentioned Age of Ultron, because now I've got the image. It's like, you know, the most emotional Marvel movie, Iron Man 3, where like at the end of that movie where he blows up all his suits, because like that's I really like Iron Man 3, so I'm gonna be a bit biased here. And people can disagree on this, but I do like that moment where, like, after all the obsessing he's had with these suits, he has that emotional moment where he's like, okay, blow them all up.
No, it's about me inside this.
Yeah. I've gotten over that. That's a surprisingly emotional not emotional moment really, but like it's a good moment.
Yeah.
I don't know the exact way to phrase it without it sounding like it's emotional, because it wasn't an emotional part of that movie.
It's an
really.
understandable moment for like the development of his character.
Satisfying, I think, is the word I'm trying to look for.
Yeah.
But like it could have done that here, but like it's because this movie is so much not a mech movie.
I think it comes down to the fact that like that moment is part of a larger scale thing where that entire thing is a clinical move. It's clinical operation. It's like that they know that if they leave them standing, they're gonna be the pain in the ass.
Yeah.
You can target any other infrastructure of police and well, obviously it's not the military, but like a military faction is doing this. If you leave the SV2, as it's mentioned throughout the whole film, has such a reputation that if you leave them to move,
they're gonna kick
you're
your ass.
fucked.
Yeah, exactly. The movie would be over.
So there's no emotion in it because it's not an emotional choice. It's like it's a clear-cut clinical precision strike of we need to remove an obstacle.
It does fit for the theme of this movie specifically, but for the overall all of what we've watched, it feels too detached than I feel like it could have been, because like we've sort of grown with these like I mean, they're not characters, but these like machines have been like such a strong point of this series.
Well, the ones that we see in SV2 when they get wrecked, I don't think are the ones from the last movies or the OVAs. I believe they're newer versions. And so the versions we see them using at the end of the movie during the climax are the old ones.
Okay, cool. We're good.
It's not super clear, but
because they've got like these sort of like giant ammo patches. It's almost like they've dressed them up, which was kind of cute.
Yeah, but it's like we're going in a war zone type thing.
Oh, look at them! They've got their little like they've got their big pouches and stuff on the robots. That's so sweet. I love you, Alphonse. I didn't forget you.
So I think those are a newer type. I believe. Okay, I could be wrong here. The ones that we normally see are type 97 Ingrams, and I believe the ones that get destroyed in 2 in the hangar are type 98s. They're the newer version, upgraded versions. It gets a bit confusing because in the TV show it's a little different. There are newer versions and stuff, but it's like
the TV show's a different like time,
different continuity. But that's why like I'm sort of not sure which ones are which. There's a couple of different types and terminologies and all this sort of stuff, and then they kind of forget about the Askas from the OVA in this in the movies, so like that also becomes a little confusing. But so I think they're newer models that get destroyed. I was going somewhere.
I know.
They were models.
Yeah.
I think it just comes back to the point where like this is so not a mech movie in a mech franchise.
It's a political thriller.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think it would have worked really good as a movie that wasn't stuck with this group of characters that had established. Or just chosen to leave them fully behind instead of, I guess you gotta get them in. Have fucking go to Nagamo on some international mission.
I think they still could have been in Japan. This wouldn't have worked if they set it on any other stage than Tokyo.
Yeah, this is very focused on Japan specifically as a political thing.
It's so much about its internal dynamics and problems and issues when it comes to the structure of the military,
the immediate end of the Cold War, its relation to the US and how that works.
How the police and the SDF don't get along all that much. At least from the way the movie kind of paints it, is there's some tensions there.
And it really to me, it really feels like a large part of the message is the police shouldn't be militarized.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. Which is kind of funny in a mech.
Which is
series that kind of did militarize themselves. But
like, that's sort of been Patlabor's whole thing.
Yeah.
As I mean, even from the OVA, there's the point of what should have been the last 2 episodes, because that last episode was just fuck it.
Yeah. Forget the truck. Fuck the truck.
Forget the truck. Yeah.
Fuck the truck.
Fuck the truck. It's Optimum Pride. Sorry, hold on. I'm gonna get
Please
back to my
focus
point.
on like the 2 episodes that should have been the finale.
Yes, those are already like saying the police have too much military might.
Yes.
That the movie sort of just the second movie is like just very much a continuation of that point. Okay, I remember what I've been trying to say for a while now.
Yes.
I love and hate how this film, probably just for the rest of time, will continue to be relevant.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't matter what happens. You watch it and you go, yeah, something like that just happened. Like,
yeah, it just happened there, and then 2 weeks ago there.
Because we decided to watch this months ago.
Yes.
Whenever we first decided, finally we're going to do Patlabor, so we did the OVAs, the movies, and Patlabor 2. So that's just been on the docket for this recording session, preordained from months ago.
Yeah.
What happened a week before we watched this to record? Iran, Israel.
Yeah.
Immediately I was just like, oh, God damn it.
Here
There's
we go.
always something that happens.
Don't forget the ice raids.
The ice raids.
That's what I'm thinking of.
Like the riots and the protests, in LA. I'm not calling them riots because they're not. They are protests.
Yeah, they are protests.
There's always something going on in the world that just shows...
That makes you think, like, nah, shit, we've been thinking about this for a long time. It's crazy. We haven't
It's
fixed
always
it
been
yet.
there.
And it's crazy that this was 3 or 4 years before the sarin gas attack in Tokyo. Because there's a scene in the middle of the movie where the blimp crashes and the gas spreads around.
You're so right.
And it turns out to be an inert gas that doesn't... It's just coloured. But obviously, yellow gas... Everyone's immediately thinking mustard gas.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
But this, again, that's one of those things where it just ends up being very prescient to whatever is currently happening.
This movie was 1993.
Yeah.
Get the sarin gas attack, 20th of March 1995.
Whoa, so 2 years
2
later.
years, almost, depending on like the months, but
A year
just under.
After was the original World Trade Center, or was that before?
I think. Hold on. The bombing.
Yeah.
World Trade Center bombing. That might have been 93.
Sorry, we're not going to bring up the Brazilian football team again.
No, that was. It was just a few months before this movie came out.
Jesus Christ.
February 26, 1993, and Patlabor 2 came out
August 1993.
Yeah.
And then you've got, of course, 9/11.
Yeah.
Then there's
7/7 for us.
7/7 for us. You've got the invasion of Iraq, Iran.
The whole war on terror.
The whole war on terror.
Which felt like it was ending at one point, and then, it didn't at the time of recording, because
Someone,
some big orange... I'm not going to say that word
I'm
on
saying
podcast.
we have. But the US had almost pulled out of every Middle Eastern country. And then he got elected.
Yeah.
And now they're back.
Yeah.
yeah.
Also,
It
just
feels-
let Afghanistan fall to the Taliban.
Yeah.
Which,
Which people attribute to Biden, but that was Trump doing that.
that was Trump.
Yeah. I don't think we're gonna get into that too much more. I'm
Yeah,
already sad.
I mean, this is a very political movie.
Yeah,
but like,
I just need to bring all of this up because
Absolutely,
it just illustrates
relevant.
my point of there's always something
In the
where
world.
you can... this film is both razor sharp precise in what it wants to say and what... If you know what was happening around the time the film came out, you know what it was talking about.
Yes.
But it's also equally vague enough that anything that happens
Like, if it came out today, I'd be like, oh yeah, no, of course it's about the current thing.
Yeah,
yeah.
I think that's one of the genius parts of the way the film is written, is that it's just illusory enough of anything to do with war, civil war, political tensions, interventions that. And also, if you just put the US in any of it, it's it's gonna be
all the way down to military structure.
Yes,
and just how not just the police but the military respond to threats or perceived threats. Because one of my favorite parts of the entire film was the whole sequence where like it appears on the radar that like there's an attack coming. Like it's heading to Tokyo. The bridge has just been bombed. It's flying into the airspace, basically. The airport has had to delay all the flights and said, weather conditions and stuff, which, would be standard procedure, I imagine, for if this would actually happen. But we find as that sequence goes on, we can't get a visual on like the actual bogies, and then suddenly they disappear. They disappear completely, and it's like, where did they go? And then it's revealed they were never there. They were hacked in. It was all just that whole, I forget the phrase they use, but it's that like smoke screen of a war, a pseudo war almost, that like, sure, it didn't technically happen in reality, but the response was real. All the actions against it were real. That still happened. That there is no illusion in the actual actions you took.
The response was real. The attack may have been fake, but there was a response.
And the consequences were
real. And I think that that's also another great part of the film, is that because this was the early 90s and there was just that beginning of adoption of a lot of technology, especially into the military. Obviously, technology throughout human history has typically progressed with war. You can see the beginning of our current modern era from the end of World War II because of all of the technological development during World War II.
Because war is a good motivator. Not to say that stuff wouldn't have come out anyway.
No.
What is it good for?
But now, like, obviously, technology has advanced so devoid of the military that you also now see the military playing catch up. But equally, that whole scene is a comment on maybe a reliance on too much technology is also an issue, because they mention like the system's just been rewritten, but there's a self-diagnostic running all the time, so it should have raised up errors. What if someone's hacked in, and they've hacked in through this long line of bouncing around?
Because if I remember right, it was German based, or like a German, or
there was so much piggybacking. I'm not sure. I know that like it had been
like not to say like the attack was actually based from someone in Germany, or like that whole thing,
but the software had been like rewritten by someone in Germany to update it or something.
To link
like
to a US college, which then linked into like the mainframe from there. I'm not sure exactly how, but
I mean,
it's movie talk.
It's also old school like intranet infrastructure stuff. So it wouldn't have been our typical understanding of like broadband and Wi-Fi and stuff like that,
because that hadn't happened yet.
We're not there yet.
So there was probably like a higher chance of a weak point somewhere along, because you still have to have these things connected. It's like the first film where they network in.
It's part of that whole thing where like it's still, on the technology wise, a bit of a product of its time, because like this is supposed to be the near future. The movie came out in 1993, but like from what I was able to like gather, this is supposed to take place in 2002.
Okay, that makes sense.
Just from like the dating from like on computer screens and stuff, but also like just the timeline, because like they say at one point, this is a different thing I was going to talk about, but at one point they mention they mention a lot of real world like events that happened, and one of the things they mentioned that I didn't even realize had happened was a defection from a pilot from the Soviet Union in the 70s defected to the west through Japan and took a jet with him. That's when they talk about like the jet and the planes and stuff, but like that actually happened in 1976 I want to say. And they say that at the time that happened, like 26 years ago, which unless my math is really wrong here, that would lead up to 2002.
Pretty much 2002,
So it's supposed to be in that time frame. but it's still written in 1993, which means we have high-tech mechs and all this military like virtual reality simulation stuff, along with videotape.
Along with videotape, CRTs, mini discs, old networks.
I loved the moment where like the security agent guy was just like, we caught it on this tape. Yeah. And I was like, oh, optical discs aren't a thing.
Yeah. I love the enhancing scene as well, because I'm like, on VHS?
Yeah. On tape. It doesn't have a resolution.
Yeah.
And this is the future, guys. We're gonna
we just hit the cleanup key.
Because there's also the part where like the detective is in like the video editing place with the guy, and he's like, so would the tape be clearer than like the home video thing? He's like, yeah, well it's shot on like high vision tape or whatever,
which was a real thing.
Which is a real thing.
Yeah. I want to clarify.
And he was like, yeah, it's leaps and bounds above home video, and I'm like I'm like, maybe a few scan lines extra
on the VHS, because I looked this up a little bit because I have heard of high vision before. Yeah. It was like it was an analog high definition standard, very much a thing in Japan, not very much elsewhere.
Yeah.
Because the old joke is that Japan's been stuck in the year 2000 since 1983, and that means they were super technological until they weren't.
Yes. Well, I mean, they had 1080 before anywhere else in the world.
Exactly.
There was it Laserdisc?
There was a HD Laserdisc.
Yes, that was 1080i.
Yeah, I think that might have been linked to high vision as well.
Yeah.
So like, actual technology was there, but still, 2002. That would have been out by then. DVD would have been a thing, and that would have taken it by storm, especially in 2002, because the PS2 had come out, and that is what made DVD popular in Japan specifically.
I mean, that's also the crazy thing, is like, this was 1993, so there was also no PS1.
No.
So there was no disc-based video game console.
They still thought Sega would have been a thing.
Yeah.
No!
It's also just like right on the cusp of when cell phones would have been viable as handheld devices.
Yeah.
So like, because Nagumo mentions like, oh, he needs a cell phone, but like a cell phone would have still been like this fucking brick.
He pulls out a cell phone at one point that has the whole antenna and stuff, and it's like, ooh.
Yeah,
close. Not quite.
Almost there.
Some phones still had antennas in 2002, but they were really just built in.
Yeah, they were the smaller ones.
Yeah,
as well.
they were
like
the smaller
Nokia ones with like the tiny little knob at the stop.
I think there's an NEC.
Yeah,
right we got one right here. Oh,
Ladies and gentlemen.
I think this is a 2004 or 5 model.
Hey, to jump ahead of it, that's the flip phone that Zenigata uses.
Yes.
In the live action Lupin that's coming.
I'm pretty sure this is the Sarah Christ phone too.
Yeah.
Off reference.
Hey, we gotta get one Smosh reference in.
Yeah. So, any other points? Before we get further down on
we could talk. Tapes. I feel like the two of us, me and Michael, could talk about this for hours, just on a tech level. Because we can be those kind of nerds sometimes.
Yeah.
And
not now.
I do feel bad that you've not talked as much, Melina, and I'm sorry.
I feel like I've gotten my points in about it. Yeah.
Okay. Sometimes I feel like when we're talking about too much, I'm like, we're kind of leaving Melina out.
Yeah.
No, it's just you go on a tangent where I'm like, yes, the VHS. I've probably held one at one point. We didn't have VHS.
What do you mean you didn't have VHS?
You had to have had VHS. I had VHS.
Yeah.
I lived off VHS for like the first few years of my life consuming media.
I have no recollection of us owning a VHS.
That's fucking crazy, man. We had for the longest time, we had a DVD VHS combo player because so many people just existed with both for a long time.
My gran had that up until she passed in 2017.
There's one in this house somewhere upstairs, I believe. I need to take that home actually.
Yes, that's a good thing to do. But for the timeline, sort of misses the mark in terms of the technology because again, super high tech mechs with better VR simulation than what would have been ever possible at that point. Wide VHS.
Yes.
It's just funny. Yeah. But we've talked about it many times. We're like, the future where we have VR and mechs and a floppy disk.
This is sort of the funny thing about sci-fi is that they can dream bold and big, but they're until something exists. There's only some people who'll probably dream that thing up. Like DVD and CD as a format probably wasn't like commonplace enough for them to kind of write that as the medium, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So it's like always that thing of like, where do you take it? Do you go really fanciful technology direction, or because Patlabor is such a grounded film, do you kind of play it safe and just take a punt of like, what's gonna be really technological? Because that's sort of the bet that Minidisc was for Patlabor. Because Minidisc just died immediately.
That did not fucking happen.
No.
Yeah, you've got to do that. It's sort of like the conversation of like, you know, when you look at sci-fi or even like fantasy pre-smartphone and post-smartphone, because so many people did not think of smartphones as a thing until they just happened.
Well, that's it. Like cell phones also, like as a sci-fi idea, didn't really exist in the sense of a cell phone. It was a funky radio.
There's this video I've seen on like a YouTube channel I watch a lot called Overly Sarcastic Productions. Don't need a shout out, they're way bigger than us. But one of the videos they do is it's like talk tropes, where they talk about like tropes in media, and like one of the things was communication devices and how that thought's evolved, and they make a point, and the overarching theme of that video is basically pre-smartphone mass communication wasn't as much of an accepted thing that will happen in the future. Like you'd have your Star Trek communicator or the occasional video phone of like Back to the Future and like stuff, Back to the Future 2 specifically, of stuff like that. But then post smartphone comes in and suddenly fantasy has a whole bunch of spells that's basically just FaceTime for communication, or just like you have the Avengers thing where people just talk. I mean that's just like, you know, earpieces, but still mass communication is suddenly an accepted thing when it wasn't, and it feels so obvious. But pre-smartphone or pre-cell phone, or that doesn't feel as sure in sci-fi. It feels more like a novelty.
Because it's like, even just to like,
there's noises.
Even just like Power Rangers, they had wrist communicators, and when they were in the suits, they just spoke to each other. But it seems obvious now, when they suited up, why didn't they just have a radio and the headset and the mask?
Or like just like a video call thing or whatever. Like the big thing that they talked about a lot was how D&D changed one of their, or one of the D&D spells came up, because like there's I forget the name of it, but there was a D&D spell that's been in there since I think first edition, where it was like, oh, you know, you can send a psychic message to someone anywhere, but it's only like a certain number of words. And they brought up, that's just what Twitter is. That's what Twitter is now. And like, as like time's gone on, and especially post-mobile like era, people stopped caring about the limit and just used it as psychic communication. Like a phone. It's a magic phone. Because
exactly.
It seems so obvious now. We've went off the rails.
We have.
I'm just watching you guys. You're just going into another rabbit hole. You're doing it
I told you to stop it.
I'm like, how long can I make this until I realize?
I realized I was going into a completely different thing there, but like I had to get that out of my system.
Labor.
I know.
Any other points that are not VHS related?
I think I've said most of what I need to say.
Well, the super VHS.
Wasn't that super?
Hey!
At the time.
Hey.
But,
I'm gonna get a spray bottle.
Okay, I feel like I'm gonna go into like so many different like circles if I keep talking. So my ending point to finish off to stop my mouth from moving is that I really, really liked this movie. I did kind of.
Someone
That's a
be
noise.
grilling.
Yeah, damn.
Anyway, my point is, this is a really good movie. This is a fantastic political like thriller and stuff. I did kind of miss the Patlabor stuff a little bit when I was watching it, and that's why I think it's a very, very, very good movie. But like, I was a little bit disappointed in some of those areas.
That's sort of the catch-22 of like, where I kind of wanted us to watch that. Maybe wanted us to watch this first, because it is so different. It is its own thing, and I think I didn't know if you guys would get hung up on that on the first viewing, because that is the thing, is like you kind of have to take it as what do you get out of it on the first viewing, because that's all these episodes are about.
Yes. That's how we roll.
Whereas I saw the movies separately on their own, and so I had none of the context, and I fucking love the second movie as for what it is, for what it ultimately sets out to be. But like, having seen everything, like, I do get how this isn't the same.
It's very much, it feels more Patlabor adjacent.
Yes.
Than an actual Patlabor thing.
We'll just wait till we watch the third movie.
Oh no.
We'll get to Weapon 13, don't worry about it.
I feel like we'll take a break.
Yeah. Well, we'll just, I mean, we're going to be on a break soon, but like, yeah.
So, scores?
I mean, I feel like we all know what my score's going to be, so.
Yeah.
You just go.
Go for it.
10 out of 10, man. It's up there as one of my favourite movies. I mean, it is a real coin flip over which one of these is my favourite Mamoru Oshii movie.
Man.
And Ghost in the Shell just wins.
That is,
but I feel like it depends on the day.
I mean, that's still high praise for you, because I know how much you fucking love Ghost in the Shell. You've actually told me it's your favourite movie at one point, I think.
Yeah,
like,
so
overall.
that's like, you know how much I love this movie then.
Yeah.
And yeah.
I feel like this is a movie, I feel like if I let it sit for a bit and I really take in everything over a longer period of time, it can be a 10 out of 10. Sort of like how, even though I did also love it at first as well, Eva, which I now want to state is my favorite anime we've ever covered and I have ever watched. Just overall, not the rebuilds.
Yeah.
They're still cool, but not the rebuilds.
So Spawn of Time's good.
Yeah. But I feel like right now, if with my first impressions and having seen it in relation to the other Patlabor stuff, I have to bump it down from a 10 to a 9.
That's fair. That's still fucking good. That's better than I thought you were going to give it.
I know. But I feel like it's too good on what it is trying to set out. I can't put it like... I can't just give it like an 8 even. I have to give it a 9. But like, it could have been a 10, and maybe in enough time it can be a 10 for me.
I think it's something specifically you would probably enjoy the more you watch it. Kind of in the same way that you rewatch Evangelion. Like, I think Patlabor 2 is something you'd probably get more mileage out of.
And Ghost in the Shell.
And Ghost in the Shell, yeah.
I rewatch that all the time now, and that's a 10 out of 10 for me.
Yeah. So I think it's something that you'd maybe get more out of from repeat viewings. Like I said, like, I think the way we've watched it, the way we kind of had to watch it, it's easy to get like caught out by what the movie is, which sucks, but I kind of expected this at the same time.
So my real answer, ask me in a year. Dissenter.
Come on, just fucking
no, speak your truth.
Point the gun and pull the fucking trigger.
There is no shame here. Speak your truth.
4.5.
Oh, might as well just put a fucking iron in my mouth and pulled the trigger. Holy fuck!
I think it's good.
You realize you're calling this a straight up bad movie by calling it a 4.5.
I'm calling it a boring movie.
Oh. Alright, just go fuck yourself.
I think it's good that we watched the OVA and, you know, we're taking that route to kind of watch it. I do think I would have liked it if I didn't know the side characters, because then I wouldn't have been disappointed that they were left off to the side. And these characters that were some way kind of presented as main characters were just kind of so I went in expecting a certain something. It wasn't that, so you know you have to let that go. It is too much exposition for me, especially in this long a movie where the amount of exposition is just in long stretches. If they would have just done bits stretched over the full movie, I would have been less bothered by it. But if I go into a movie wanting to be entertained and I'm in like the first 30 minutes being asked to full on pay attention and really take in every single bit, it's too much for me. On a rewatch, I probably would like it more. Maybe I would have liked it more if I watched it first. I don't know, but this is where I stand.
Okay.
I think that is understandable from where you're coming from. I think it's very understandable. So you know,
I do understand.
I will not give you too much shit for this.
Thank you.
On the other hand,
I do understand where you're coming from. I just I want to pick at something, and I feel like I am really picking. You said that you wanted to be entertained, but I feel like having seen the first movie, you should have known this was not going to be a piece about entertainment.
I mean, well, films are meant for entertainment.
I mean, Ghost in the Shell's not entertainment.
I disagree on that. Ghost in the Shell is definitely entertaining for me, just in the way it looks.
I think it's like an experience. I don't necessarily think it's entertainment.
I think it can be both.
Yeah, I mean, sure, it can.
Like, I find a deep amount of entertainment but this is like purely a me thing as well. Just in the way it looks, just in the way, like the design of the world. I always a little thing of that movie that comes back to me. I won't go into a tangent. Is the little like when it's like the I forget the term, the bridge like girls with like the fingers that like split off into smaller fingers that split up into smaller fingers. That is weirdly entertaining for me in a way. That's like, oh, I just love seeing that move.
Yeah,
I'm clapping and happy.
All right, I'll flip it onto something that I know you love. Okay. Perfect Blue is not entertainment.
I think it is. But that's just my opinion on what is film's purpose, what is art's purpose.
Like, you know, I love that movie, so like, you know, I'm not saying that out of like I hate that movie. So like,
I get that.
It's not a gotcha.
Like, I think it comes down to, I see entertainment as a piece that I'm gonna purely watch to enjoy or lose my reality in. Whereas
I get that.
To me, not every movie is entertainment, because if a movie has something to say or it wants me to engage with it in a different way, it's not fundamentally entertainment, if that makes sense.
No, because this is a personal thing that I have where I'm like, we had this question in our class. It's like, okay, what do we think the purpose of film is? And a lot of people are like, to educate, to showcase skill, to do this and that. And I'm like, no, your prime goal is to entertain. Can you educate people on the side? Fantastic. That's amazing. But if someone's not entertained and they're in a seat for 2 hours and they leave just feeling, I sat for 2 hours,
yes, I
didn't learn anything, I wasn't enjoying anything, and am I thinking about anything?
My thing. I think that's really funny because you basically described how I think of video games. That at its core has to be entertaining. Video games can be art, I believe.
Okay, I do realize how hypocritical I sound because we spoke about this before, and I've said that video games can be fun while being extremely difficult.
Yeah.
So I realize how hypocritical it sounds, but I also think this also comes from a place of where the movie industry is currently at.
Fair.
And I 100%. Find entertainment such a reductive word right now because everything is entertainment, but all that means right now is that it is fucking slop.
Yeah. People take the word entertainment like it's become a bit of a dirty word when it comes to media these days, because people have taken the term, oh, it's just entertainment, as an excuse.
Yeah. It's like, well, it'll entertain. Like, it's just that.
It's almost like in a way to like sort of put that in like a way. It's almost like kids media. Like people say, oh, kids are entertained by anything. It doesn't have to be good. And I'm just like, why would you want to show your kids like shit though? Don't you want them? Don't you want to show them something good though?
Something that makes them think,
something that makes, because I remember all the good kid stuff I watched as a kid is what led me to my love of film. And entertainment is a not bad word. And my final thought on that whole thing is that I feel like the best media can be both entertainment and art, or try and teach you something or something. Again, Evangelion, my favorite anime possibly of all time, because it is just straight up entertainment for a good chunk of it. I like big robots like fighting and stuff and like all the cool sci-fi shit.
Yeah.
I'm heavily autistic for that. Just to put it, I think I can say that.
Yeah, I mean, sure. I'm not fighting against it.
But at the same time, it can be a deep emotional sort of like introspective of just, even if it's just Arno's like mental breakdown, there's something very profound in that. It does both, and I love it so much.
Yeah. No, I get that. I think it does come from, like, we were talking about that whole fucking, the way the movie industry is, which we've talked about already. So I apologize. That was probably rather...
How dare you! No, it's fine. It's a good discussion to have. Absolutely.
Because sometimes it's like, when I hear people like, oh, well, it didn't entertain me, and it's like, well, what do you mean by that? Are you using that as a catch out of, I didn't understand it, or I wasn't willing to engage with it?
Some people
do, but I don't think that you did.
Some people do. I didn't have a good time, and therefore I wasn't entertained.
Not every movie needs to give you a good time, man.
No, that's the thing. No.
Yeah, not every movie needs to give you a little reach around. Like every.
No.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Okay, I want to end now. We're done here. You
I
just
made it
ruined
almost.
this
I made a
beautiful
somewhat
conversation.
a little bit of a tasteless autistic joke, but that's terrible.
Yeah,
Fuck
done.
you.
Bye.
Like, Tom Cruise isn't going to come in halfway through Mission Impossible and fluff you up, as much as it might feel like that.
I mean, I feel like he'd want.
He probably would, given the chance.
Yeah, if he could, but like, I don't like that.
Yeah.
I don't like that idea. Melina looks so traumatized from that sentence.
He just yesterday said he's sad he missed the window to have a gay experience.
Cruise?
Or
Tom
maybe it was
Cruise?
Pitt. Maybe I'm mixing Pitt.
I feel like Brad Pitt's had a gay experience.
I feel like he'd own that.
Oh wait,
Yeah.
one of those two has said it. And
This,
that's what I want to end this episode. So everyone, go out there, have your gay experience.
this isn't coming out at the time, but Happy Pride Month.
Happy Pride Month, yeah.
To go on movies not having to like give you a good time.
Yeah.
Perfect Blue.
Yes,
I
exactly.
I didn't have
Perfect.
I didn't have a good time
Yeah.
watching that, but it was a
Pretty much
fantastic
most
movie.
of Colin's movies.
Grave for
are-
the Fireflies.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Oh, Grave of the Fireflies.
That fits in. He's in the credits of this movie as well.
He is, yes.
He did like what layouts, backgrounds.
Good question.
He did something.
He did something on it.
Yeah, he wasn't like a creative. He was just sort of on the
Yeah,
on
this would have been when he was just like an animator
Yeah.
or a background artist or something.
That-
Because he wouldn't have worked. He obviously didn't do Perfect Blue yet. That was
yeah. That was 99.
97.
Yeah.
That was late
97, I
90s.
think. Yeah.
Definitely late 90s.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, I spotted his name in like the credits near the start.
Yeah.
And I was like, wait, that's Satoshi Kon?
Yeah.
This one?
Like that, well, this will probably come back up again whenever we watch Nausicaa, but Hideki Anno worked on that. He
know.
did
I
animation
know.
for that.
I know.
And
Believe
then
me,
obviously-
I've gone into the deep dive on this on my end. Believe me, I know he did Nausicaa.
And then Kenji Kawai just pops up randomly in the Silent
yeah.
Hill 3 credits because he did some music for that, which was really weird. Because, yeah,
One of the tracks specifically we talked about.
yes, this
is
movie
very similar.
Like, I'm pretty sure Akira Yamaoka had to have watched this movie and went, "Oh,
I'll take it. Yeah.
yeah.
You know that sort of that sort of haunting theme that like plays throughout, like where it's like
It's sort of Suge's theme,
dun.
like the antagonist. So it plays
Yeah.
in the opening sequence when he gets out of the
Yeah.
the spider robot.
it's not the same, but that feels almost like it was ripped for Silent Hill 2 and one of the themes there that starts
Yeah.
off that game. We'll,
Nice.
we'll play it probably when this is done, but
Yeah, we've been talking for
Too
oh my god, almost 2 hours.
Yeah.
I feel like I've been
I
running.
know.
I feel like I ran my mouth a lot. More than I intended to.
You
So
boys need to stop chattering.
But yeah, one point I want to end on is I recently looked at like what was in cinemas not long
Not
ago,
great.
and oh my god, we need
No.
less sequels. We need less.
It is disgusting.
Yeah, it's all sequels or it's all like Disney shit that's not actually like good.
yeah,
Shame.
Yeah. So anyway,
let's just stop.
let's just stop. It's only downhill from here. For
Yeah.
No, not downhill for Patlabor, but like the next movie's fine.
Hey, I want to watch the series in my own time.
The series is great. I love the series. It's just we're probably not going to watch it for the podcast. 'cause-
Yeah. That's why I'm asking in my own time.
Yeah,
And,
I will
and
get
if there's a way I can get that,
yes, I will get to it.
not to nudge.
It's a lot of discs, man. It's
Oh,
a lot
Jesus.
of stuff to work on.
Okay, fine.
It puts my PC out of commission.
Oh
so,
Jesus.
yeah. We wrap up our time with the movies for and OVA of Patlabor here with the wet fart of a note to
Oh
end
my
on.
god.
Okay, so how do we want to get into it? Because I have written here a mini little paragraph of what I thought of this movie.
Let's open
Just
with
to,
Shaun's
let's open
monologue.
with
just to
that
see,
then.
story time.
Yeah.
This film is an empty black void disguised as a movie. It is a cascade of numerous moving parts that all work in just the perfect way to ensure none of the plot beats and themes hold any meaning whatsoever to me. It has no idea what it wants to be, so it fails on the mass amount of things it only barely tries to be. That is how I felt when I finished the movie,
Ooh, I think we all fucking agree.
Yeah.
and it has not left me since I stopped and since that the end credits rolled. Fuck this movie. In a specific way, though.
Yeah, no, absolutely, because, you know, I don't love mechs, and I never thought I'd say this, but there was a point where I was like, can we get a fucking mech up in this? Because I am bored to fucking hell.
For all the Patlabor stuff so far that we've watched, doesn't have a huge amount of Patlabor in it.
What else does it have?
This
Huh? What else?
this doesn't have anything.
This is such a weird contrast from like the second movie because in many ways the second movie is also not really a Patlabor movie.
No.
To an extent. The characters are there though. We like familiar characters and we see them, and the mechs are there at the end and are used in a satisfying way that makes sense. This was something else entirely that just slapped the name on it and like put the characters in for like a cameo.
Yeah.
Yeah. The way I sort of describe it is that this would probably be a really cool detective kaiju film.
Oh yeah.
If they didn't make it as a Patlabor movie, and that carries all the weight of, because it would be an entirely different film. You don't need to sit and go, oh, because it'd be written, because the vibe would be different. No, because not being a Patlabor movie, it doesn't carry any of the weight, and from the ground level would be a drastically different film.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because it wouldn't just be trying to ape the style of Mamoru Oshii and failing miserably.
For a spectacular scale, so we've talked about Oshii's style. I think specifically in the last few Patlabor movies he did, where like he's very purposeful in how to set a scene and like when to give just the whole flow of the movie its breathing room. I've talked about a lot about how much I love the long panning shots that he does, where he just lets you sort of escape into the world. This movie wants to do that.
Yeah, but it also doesn't give any of the time to any of them, and instead thinks, oh, these are transitory scenes. These are these are moments to get us from one thing to the next that don't link together. And so you have this part kind of in the middle where like they're setting up to do like there was the whole pushback of like there's not enough evidence of this thing existing type thing, and then like suddenly something happens and then they're frantically like trying to protect the citizens and get sort of like the police and the GSDF and stuff in position to deal with it. But it's so chaotic and goes from like weird fast cuts that Oshii does sometimes do, but instead decides to pair them with like the panning shots and the cityscapes, and then builds it into like the almost courtroom drama-esque things of the meetings.
Yes.
And like the two definite, all of those things do exist in Oshii movies, they just don't exist
like that,
like interlaced together.
The puzzle pieces don't go together like this.
It's almost like trying to do Mamoru Oshii and doing such a bad job that you end up with something almost Hideki Anno instead. But again, like Anno's so purposeful in the way things cut very quickly and move very quickly when he does do that, that this is also not anywhere close to being the same thing.
Not.
Because that sequence just stands out to me as like the like fucking neon light of how bad this film is at doing anything it wants to do, because this whole sequence doesn't make any sense.
No.
And it makes the already piss thin plot of the film just get completely washed away, and you're suddenly like, I actually don't know what's going on anymore.
Yeah, the more they spoke about the problems, the more I was like, what?
Yeah.
And like when you get your audience so confused that they don't know what's happening and have no grasp of who the fuck this guy is, first of all, and second of,
what the hell?
Whoa.
Something went ew.
I did just get a duo notification, but I don't think that was it.
The owl.
I don't know what that was. Anyway,
yeah.
We'll see if that gets cut around.
Yes.
Yeah, they just create such a confusing atmosphere that you don't give a shit, and you're not invested. So you're just kind of there for the ride, like, yeah, okay. I'm just waiting at this point to get some familiarity. 20 minutes in, we get Noah and what's his face? Asuma. And you're like, yes! Finally!
I actively yelped a lot and was like, oh my god, people I know! Yes, please! An interesting plot! And then
we have a meeting! Okay. Bye.
It's like the movie was mocking me by having the main characters actively walk away while they're in the background. I'm like, no! Come back! I want my friends! Can I just say, while we were watching this, I at the same time have been watching a bit of the TV show. What a fucking juxtaposition, by the way. How we are so far from early days in this movie, and we are so far from the TV show that like so much. There was a point. I swear there was a point. I forgot this was a Patlabor movie.
Yeah, no, that's fair. It's also worth mentioning that like this came out in 2002, and Patlabor 2 came out in 1993. There was 9 years between that and this takes place in between the first and second movie.
Couldn't fucking tell.
The only thing that gives it away is that Asma and Noah are still part of SV2 because by the time of the second movie, like it's just Goto who's like leading a new unit. Everyone's kind of moved on to other things because Asma and Noah are, I think, working for one of the companies working on new mechs.
They were sort of around, but they weren't part of the actual team anymore. They had moved on.
So here, like, they're still part of SV2, so this takes place like in between. I don't know specifically where. I think it is stated in the film that it is like 93 or 94.
I mean, I did look a little bit on the Wikipedia page just to somewhat get a grounding of what the fuck was going on at some points, and I swear, I think the wiki page says it's supposed to take place in the timeline 2000.
That actually, that doesn't make sense. I'm picking up the date from the photograph in her room. The big fucking thing.
Which just happens, by the way. And I was like, what?
Yes, of course.
Yes, my wall dedicated to the face of a little girl. That's creepy, dude.
Yeah,
that's just creepy.
That's her daughter's. Like,
I know.
It's very poorly communicated because everything in this movie has. That is like.
It did click for me later on, but like when it happened in the scene, I was like, huh?
It's the teacher / researcher / other detective guy's girlfriend's apartment.
Because it tries to be a rom-com sometimes.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, no, that face was weird, and I feel like someone just sat there. How can we convey and like showcase this is the daughter and that she's grieving? What if it just has a wall? And it's just her face.
Fucking like annoying part of that is that if they just took like that out, the one plot line that would really work in this film is the cancer cell subplot. Because it's mentioned after he like escorts her back to the university or wherever it is. It's never really communicated very well, like a lot of the movie. That they're studying like cancer cells and stuff and how the life cycle of human cells work, and cancer cells sort of like go against all of that. And she mentions that like this is from a deceased girl who her cells live on and stuff, and then later you find out that she put the cancer cells into the thing, and then you eventually find out all the cancer cells are her daughter's cancer cells. And like if it weren't for that big fucking picture, that's actually the one plot line where they actually would have trusted the audience to like keep up and put things together, especially with like when the detective goes to the deceased dad's parents' house and like sees the videos of her as a young girl and stuff, or before she passed away and stuff, and it's like, okay, there's one small thing that you've done to just completely fuck up this one aspect of the movie, and that's incredible. You just had to take one thing out.
This sort of goes back into my feeling there's so many moving parts that do not need to be there. And because they do not need to be there, they actively make the film worse. And actively cheapen any sort of feeling you get from the themes that... If they had just cut it down or just made the movie about this one theme or this one plot line, you'd have good you'd have a good movie. There's like 5 different good movies stuck in this travesty of a film. And it frustrates me so much. It reminded me, funnily enough, to go back to Anno again, Evangelion 3.33.
Oh god.
And how much that felt like so much missed potential in a story that they just completely fucked up.
I think like what gets me as well is that they wanted to do like a detective spin-off to Patlabor, and yet they didn't use the detective character that we've actually seen in the OVA and both movies. Mm-hmm. One of them plays like an actual role in the first film, so we kind of actually know that character.
Yeah.
Why is one of them just an older guy with a fucking broken leg who walks around with a crutch the whole movie, and not him?
Yeah.
Well, I think it's just he had an idea for a character and was like, yeah, I guess I could. I guess I could. It feels like he just had a movie and like some studio was like, well, we want you to make a Patlabor movie, and his fuck you was, I'll just sprinkle it in there.
The thing that gets me is they still use the headgear name on the film, which means at some level, enough of the people who worked on Patlabor before had to have some hand in this.
Yeah.
So, like, could no one course correct it at all?
No. No.
Nah.
Don't think so. No.
I feel like that's just another set of hands into this movie that tried to pull it in another direction.
Yeah.
Like, so many of the elements individually are good and sound. Like, a detective spin-off of the Patlabor universe, that's fine.
Yeah.
You can do that.
Cool.
You don't need to stick to the SB2 crew. You can expand that's fine. Having it be a kaiju movie for like all of 3 scenes, but
it's really not much of a kaiju movie in the end.
Yeah, like if you focus more on that would also be cool. Like Early Days had a kaiju episode and still peak writing. Loved that episode, even if it is really just sort of trash. You can go that if you want to make it about grief as well. Like that, you could. That's basically a Resident Evil plot.
Yeah.
It doesn't help that I replayed a bit of Resident Evil 2 not long before we watched this, so that sort of clicked a little for me. That works. You can have that. It's just having it all at once.
Yeah.
Makes it feel like it's sort of like you put so many like different colors together that you just end up with like a blank sort of white color.
Yeah.
That's what this movie felt like to me.
Yeah.
Because like visually, and like the ending in the big arena, and like I get what they were going for, and it could have been so cool. It had potential, and then they just
The one part I don't get about the finale is, why did the monster have tits?
Yeah, no, like their fucking mech armor falls off, boobs fling out. I'm like, where the fuck did this come from?
And it's like never seen again after that. Like it's one like shot, and that's it. And it's like, why did you do that?
There was just one animator in a corner. Like, I'm getting this.
You know what I'm going to do. The fact that monster is kinda sorta explained to be a rebirthing of the little girl is extra made me go, why tits?
Yeah,
Why'd you
I was
give it
like,
tits?
I legit, I wrote it in my notes. It's like, why? Are they trying to do a maternal thing? But it still feels gross because you're like, this is a little girl.
It's a little girl.
We lured her because the cancer cells recognize her music, and then her tits fall out.
The only thing that I could think is like, it's meant to be that is taking on more like human mammal like features, and like because the cancer cells develop so fast, it's causing like a rapid like growth, but then like at the same time like the movie doesn't really
it doesn't go far into
it feels
that.
like a stretch. It feels like I'm headcanoning something that the film doesn't put in the effort.
I'd rather see fingers.
Yeah.
I would be more like, oh, that's kind of human, or like toes,
like more human legs, maybe the
eyes
tail.
to go really creepy on it, start having the face become more and more like
the girl
grotesquely humanesque, like with like the shape of a monster. That would have been effective.
Not the boobies.
Tits.
No, not the tits.
Just disappointing, because it was the whole, we're burning down the memory of your daughter. Boob.
Well, the thing is, you can't even say that like that whole part's like, we're burning the memory of the daughter, because she's dead by that point.
Yeah,
she's already fell and cracked her neck and is just
laying there,
and it's like,
no, no, that monster that I injected my daughter's cancer cells into. No,
not scientist mum. I don't know her name.
I don't know her name.
Nobody knows her name.
I don't know any of the names of any of these characters except the Patlabor characters.
I think the main guy was Hata, but I'm not sure.
That is his.
But only because I put it in a note.
Yeah, that's not the movie. That's you actively forcing yourself to remember.
Exactly.
Shinichiro Hata.
Sure.
Let's go with that.
He doesn't deserve it.
The scientist lady's got like a long name.
I called her Scientist Mum.
Yeah, it's like Maya Animorius. I don't know. It's like a long name.
Yeah.
There's Noah. I know Noah.
Noah, hey, do something.
Yeah, your design is terrible, but it's you.
There's another part of the finale I don't understand, and that's the guy who's just there in a trench coat. Who suddenly brings in the helicopter guys to burn the monster, who is not in the film up to that point, but suddenly they've decided they're gonna use the stadium, and then the next shot is him in the stadium and like moving around it, and I'm like,
forcing American director man to go away.
Is this? Yeah. There's the other weird multiple references to US colonialism.
Yeah,
that mean nothing.
There's signs.
This movie.
There's signs that and because we're obviously watching the subtitle, you're very clearly seeing what they say because the subtitles make a point.
Yes.
To translate them, so it's like, oh, okay, are we gonna go into?
I mean, that would be there even if you were watching.
I know, but it feels when we're watching it, it feels like something we're supposed to draw our attention to. So it's like, oh wow, so they're gonna continue the whole sort of how much dependency on America Japan has. No.
Let's just remember that it's there.
That's too fucking interesting. Absolutely not. Go fuck yourself, kaiju.
You can't even think that that's like some nod to what would happen in 2, because 2 kind of has nothing to do with what those signs are about.
No, and 2 is later on.
2 is later on, yeah. So,
It is just a lot of.
It's also like the same sign, just like multiple times.
Copy paste.
Yeah, they just copy and pasted that shit.
So, okay, I want to try and recap.
Music's good.
Yeah, music.
They brought back Keiji Kawai, the one fucking mainstay apparently.
The one criticism is that as much as I do like it, it does feel like the same track over and over again.
No, compared to any of his other stuff, it's his weakest.
Yeah,
and I think purely just in the fact that like he probably phoned it in.
Oh, absolutely.
And, you cannot blame him.
No, I still liked it.
I genuinely wouldn't be surprised if he didn't necessarily work on it, and so much as that he had leftover music for one of the other movies, and someone was just like,
that'll do.
Just put my name on it and pay me more cool.
Yeah, why not?
Why not? But yeah, I want to try and recap. So what was the plot with the kaiju like without like the cancer stuff? Like there was a whole thing where it was attacking laborers because of a certain hum.
Okay, so that does also tie into the
I know it ties into like the piano that like the
it
little girl was
ties into the
playing and
cancer
stuff.
cell thing because the cancer cells are there, and because of like the piano music, there's certain higher frequencies that it responds to, and I guess the shaft drives give it off, and so it attracts.
That's what I wanted to get to, because a lot of the movie it feels like they're going for, okay, this is clearly a targeted thing against this like company, because they're only targeting Shaft Industries,
which is such an odd thing for this movie to randomly pull out, because Shaft are not in the movie timeline until this, which takes place in between the other movies, but they're not in any of the other movies. They're purely a TV series thing for Patlabor. They're like the antagonistic force of the TV show.
Okay.
But because the TV show's episodic, they don't show up a huge amount. They're there for some stuff. But like, what?
Why wouldn't
they
use?
Suddenly here?
Why wouldn't they use? Is it Asuma? He's the son. CEO.
I was gonna say Toa Heavy Industries, but I think that's that may be from all of the Tsutomu Nihei mangas. I don't think that's from.
Still, there's a link that you could very easily pull from.
I think I get not going with Asuma's company, because at the time of that felt like they have the highest market saturation.
Okay.
Like they are the most common company in terms of labor production. So like I get it, because you would probably have to do some real heavy like jumping around to be like, this is why they're not attacking like everything. Because you would have like a much higher like an attack rate if that were the case.
That's fair. I will say, knowing that Shaft did actually appear in the TV show, because I've not gotten that far yet, but having watched it, does make it feel a little less like a fucking ass pull in this movie. But I mean, it still kind of feels
it's
like
an ass pull just from a different ass.
Yeah. There we go.
Same pull, different ass.
Yeah.
Eloquently put.
Yeah.
It's just when they start talking about Shaft Industries, I'm like, guys, what? Couldn't it come up with a better name?
No, of course not.
Shaft. Damn right.
Like, there was this part in the beginning that I thought was like interesting when they're like being chased by monster in the big facility. But we don't know who's being chased. We don't know these people. So when one of them died, I went, oh.
Oh yeah, one of them died.
One of our supposed main characters just gets killed, and we don't give a shit.
I that genuinely passed me by.
Yeah, I was like, oh, she was
because the two detectives we follow like get out of that, even though the guy in the crutch probably shouldn't have.
No, he I don't think he needs that fucking crutch, to be honest.
And there's one point where he just completely forgoes the crutch, and while he's limping, like he's still going on fine. It's like, are you just sort of putting on a little bit of show?
And he jumps with like a hook or something.
Yeah, it's like a container lifter.
Yeah,
and like he's like grabs onto it and then like gets flung back again. It's so strange.
Yeah,
and like the kaiju then falls into the water, and it's like they could just climb back up again.
Yeah, that's just not defeat.
Yeah.
Like, he's gone. I'm like, did you forget that he came from there before?
Yeah. Also, it leaves like a finger behind. And they're like, the police chief or whatever's like, that's not enough evidence. And I'm like, bitch, what is?
It is physical evidence right here. What more do you want?
They're like, we gotta check the tissue samples on this. I'm like, it's a fucking clawed finger. What are you on about?
Oh, yeah, they caught it in like one of the doors or something. I'm like, yeah, that's plenty.
Yeah.
We don't have enough evidence to prove that Godzilla exists. Just cut to like the severed head of Godzilla in a lab. Not enough evidence.
Idea. Yeah. This says nothing.
I was going to say that is actually a plot point of one of the Godzilla movies, but it's not. It's in Godzilla Kong versus Kong. They have like the head of Ghidorah.
I knew it was Ghidorah.
Yeah, and they use that to telepathically control Mecha Godzilla.
Yeah, you see, the thing is, I knew it was one of them.
Yeah,
I knew if I said something like that, it would be one of them.
Yeah, you can't make up anything about Godzilla that probably doesn't already exist.
No. That's what fucking like 60 years does to you.
But like, imagine that scene where they're being chased by a monster, but it's our crew, our guys,
our boys.
Stakes would have been much fucking high. Why didn't they call them in? Like, I feel like that would have been a job perfect for them.
That's the thing is like, they kind of mention that they don't want to bring them in, and it's like, why? Because they're like the actual.
Have you seen the title of this movie?
They literally say there are resident labor experts. Like it makes sense, and then I can't remember the excuse, but it really just feels like they go no.
Yeah,
they just turn to the camera. You'd like that, wouldn't you? No, you're not getting that.
Well, you see, that seems way too interesting. Looks to the camera. You'd fucking like that, wouldn't you?
And then they even like shove it in your face by having them go on the boat thing and like investigating the thing that's not a Shaft one. And we later learn it has like a Shaft drive in it. I hate the name Shaft now.
My favorite Castlevania villain.
But then like Asuma and Noah show up and they're like, well, who are these fucking guys who have been looking at it? And
you're not my friends.
And then we cut away and it's like, oh, okay.
Never mind.
So they are investigating it. Yeah. We just don't.
We don't get to see them.
The movie absolutely tells us to go fuck ourselves if we want to see that side of the story.
I mean, Goto's in the meetings, I believe.
Yeah, he's in like some of them and then he meets with Crutch Guy for a bit.
But that's all.
That's it. I mean, he's there at the end. He is present. And, like, I get, like, it works its way around the fact that, like, Goto clearly has some plan in mind and, like, co-opts the mission from someone else and takes over. And it's like, Yeah, in the better version of this movie, we would have got to have seen his thought process, the logic he put in behind this, and
how he shares it with the team, and how it's a team effort,
and like an actual plot.
And how they're like there to usurp the GSDF or whoever else is there because they know something else is gonna happen because Goto's that sharp as a person. He understands that. Here it just cuts to him being like, we're gonna turn on the music in the monitor. Don't worry about it.
We got this. Don't you got?
I am in charge of the mission. How?
And like all we see is Ota being like really fucking annoying for no reason, complaining to Noah to get out of his way, even though she's like holding the kaiju so he can shoot it, and it's like. I'm sure in another version of this movie, we would have the context of this.
It would have been
Currently,
great.
We don't.
No.
We just see Ota complaining she's in his way as he has his gun in the mouth of the kaiju. Like, she's not in your way, man. You can just pull the trigger.
Yeah.
Just fucking do it, man.
No,
Put some iron in your mouth.
Then pull the trigger. Honestly, that whole last part where they have the labors feel more like a hindrance to the entire thing than any actual help. It further adds in, why are they here? Why is this a Patlabor movie? Why is the title Patlabor?
Absolutely. If it was just like, oh, it's a spin-off from the same universe bullshit, I would have been like, sure,
that's almost what it wants to be.
Yeah.
But it's also too focused on being a Patlabor film.
Yeah, following that same sort of legacy that like the Oshi films had, that it's like, and it fails miserably. Which it just makes it more frustrating because it just makes me want to rewatch those movies again.
There is a version of this that could probably have been good that could have been a Patlabor movie. Arguably, I think the best version of this movie is not a Patlabor movie.
Probably.
But there could be a good version of a Patlabor movie in here if it was Weapon 13, not to pull a Star Wars here, but a Patlabor story, and not Weapon 13, Patlabor the movie 3.
Yeah, no.
Just unchain it from what it's like clearly being forced to be and not what it naturally wants to be. This felt.
Imagine if all the MCU films that were just named Avengers 1, 2, 3, 6, 7,
That's sort of what they're doing.
Don't spoil phase. What are we on, phase 6 now?
And Doomsday, they've just figured out the ending. Maybe. Who knows?
Have they written it yet?
Probably not. They're shooting it. They haven't fucking finished writing it.
Check back in like a year or two when we probably talk about that.
Hey, they're shooting Brand New Day. That looks fucking awesome.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm actually excited for that.
I love how John Watts, sorry, this is going to tear into a small MCU tangent, like gave the advice to, I forget his name, but he directed Shang-Chi. Dustin something, I think his name is. Anyway, he's directing Brand New Day, and like his one piece of advice to him was like, don't shoot real web swinging scenes. They don't look right. Because all of them in his movies were CGI. And like the first thing we see, all we've seen from Glasgow right now are him shooting web swinging scenes that look fucking awesome because you can't capture the viscerality of web swinging. In CGI, it just looks fucking goofy.
Like it looks like you're swinging a doll around.
Like I respect. It was John Watts who said that. Like as a director, the Home trilogy is really good to me. I like all of them, even Far From Home, even though that's apparently contentious these days.
Wow.
I mean, it depends on where you go. I'm probably it's probably just in my bubble, but I liked all of them. But I did really miss, especially by the time No Way Home came out, like an actual scene of Spider-Man swinging around, which made the final swing all that more impactful. But the thing is, fuck him for saying that, because the Raimi movies, and especially say what you will about Amazing Spider-Man 2 specifically, that has the best web swinging in any of the movies because they just let Andrew Garfield go and shoot that stuff with all these different camera angles and stuff, and it's so fun. I'm half convinced that that's like half the reason PS4 Spider-Man exists.
Yes, and there's also like the fact that like some of the deleted scenes from, I can't remember if it's Far From Home or No Way Home. It's like they cut out some that really just nail the essence of Peter as Spider-Man and like his quips and how he interacts with stuff, and when he's battling goons and stuff like that. And it's like, so you cut that out, which could have just made like a much better version of MCU Peter Parker. Anyway,
needed more Stark
yeah,
stuff. Sorry, but anyway,
Patlabor.
We got distracted halfway through that talk of Patlabor, almost like how we pretty much all got distracted to watching the movie.
Yeah. I took like a 45-minute break like halfway through this film.
I think I had to grab something to eat at some point.
The
I was
amount
like,
of times I just went back like, what did I miss? Because this doesn't make fucking sense.
Yeah.
Oh, I missed lines and was like, I'm sure
what?
It's fine.
I think I rewinded the ending like 3-4 times because I was like, I've got to be missing something here.
I gotta see the tits again.
My eyes glazed over so many fucking times I stopped caring.
Yeah, that's fair. There's also some really weird influence from like Perfect Blue throughout this film. That again, terrible job of just even making nods to it.
Fuck, you're right. I didn't even catch that. I was so fucking dead.
It's so like subtle in a way that it could just be homaging it, but it also feels like it wants to take some small amount of influence for it, from it for like the Doctor character and like her whole grief arc and stuff. And it's like maybe that could have worked, but
not like this.
Not like this. And you know, Perfect Blue. Drastically different movie.
Yes.
To be more cynical, it feels like someone saw it and was like, that's how you make a movie. Put it in our movie.
I think if you take elements from good movies and you put it in a movie, it's a good movie.
It makes a good movie. You know, you add good, you add more good, it only makes good.
Yeah, good plus good is good.
Yeah, exactly. We made a good movie.
Yeah, they sure did.
They made a film. Yeah. Feel disgusting calling it a film, actually.
Yeah.
To get, one of the points I thought about when we were just talking about earlier, this feels like if you took Lord of the Rings, but when you got to Return of the King, it went into a side story about the Ents.
Oh my god.
Which was basically a good part of the extended version of Two Towers.
I was gonna say, like, that's what they did with Two Towers.
Everyone's favourite part.
Yeah. Just, they mention occasionally the Ents are like, I can smell battle. Like, that'd be great to see.
That's so cool.
That'd be great. It'd be fantastic.
Let us discuss this in minute detail for the next 20 minutes.
I love The Lord of the Rings, but The Two Towers is always such a struggle to watch.
Yeah, I want to say this. If you're listening to this like right now and you're like, I like the Ents, fuck you. I'm an Ent hater, and you're wrong.
It's like if they fucking put Tom Bombadil back into the extended cut of the Fellowship. I actually would just kill myself.
I'm an Ent hater, and I'm a big fucking Tom Bombadil hater. Fuck that guy.
Scores. Yeah, we've ran out of things to talk about for this fucking movie.
I debated with myself what score to give, and I was like, do I give it a 5 because I felt nothing? But it is a film that exists. It's not a train wreck like something like a disaster, like a movie that it's not a disaster in a way.
Because one thing we haven't mentioned is like the animation's still top notch.
Yeah. It looks like a Patlabor movie.
Yeah.
In terms
that's
of
about
visuals.
the highest compliment I think I could give it.
I was debating, do I give it a 5 just to show that I felt such a neutrality? Do I give it a 0 because of just how empty I felt? So you know what I decided? I'm not giving it a score.
Wow.
This film did not work enough as anything to have earned a score. It gets nothing from me.
That's crazy.
Wow.
This will come back in the awards show, I promise you, at the end of the season.
That's fair.
If you remember it by then.
Oh, I will. I can't forget this film.
Wow.
And at the same time, I forget everything about this film. But yeah, it gets nothing from me.
Wow. Melina?
3.5.
Okay, that's fair. No pretentious bullshit.
Nah.
No, you're right. No, you can call me out. I am so aware on how fucking pretentious I am right now.
Like, there were bits I was interested in, and there were bits where, because like the whole chase scene in the like beginning-ish where someone died, and I was like, oh, we're going somewhere, and then it goes nowhere. And the end in the arena, I was like, oh, we're going somewhere, and then it didn't.
Yeah. Titties.
And then we just got monster boobies, and it. I don't want to lower my score more. Go.
God, there's like 3 different scores I could give this on like
but
a sliding
I'm not
scale.
gonna give it any.
No, I'm not gonna be that pretentious.
I'm gonna be honest. This movie deserves being pretentious towards.
My original score was like back when I first watched it was a 6.
Yeah.
But it was, as I found out, 2020. July specifically that I watched it. So you know, that was
Man, that was 2020.
That was 2020.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't remember you talking about this at all, and I feel like that says something.
Yeah, probably. Now, I don't know. Like, I could give it a 4 or a 5, I think. But a 4 feels too low in the sense of, like, it's produced well enough.
Yeah, they've got a final product that looks okay.
Yeah.
And for 2002, like, I think this must have been one of the last things shot on film, or it just has a really, really convincing look to it.
Yeah, that's one hell of a filter.
Yeah. Because, I mean, like, the versions we were watching, like, there was certainly grain and stuff in there. So, like, I wouldn't be surprised if it was shot on film, but that would surprise me for 2002, because I thought, I was under the impression, and this could be wrong, that General was the last anime film produced on film. That was the impression I was under, which was 2000?
Yeah, but that was definitely 99, 2000.
Yeah. And then everything sort of switched to digital. There were film outs in the sense of, like, for screening and stuff like that. We only have, like, such a good version of Tokyo Godfathers now, because that's based on a 35mm film out of the digital project, which was only rendered in 720.
General was 1999 in Japan, but I think 2001 in the West.
Okay. So yeah, I was under the impression General was, like, the last, or one of the last.
Oh wait, hold on. It was 1999 in France.
Okay.
But in Japan, 2000. It's roundabout.
Yes.
Yeah, there-ish. Yeah.
Anyway, I was under the impression that was the last thing produced to film, whereas this looks like it was on film.
Yeah.
It looks like it was produced with cell animation.
On film, and with the way it kind of looks, and this is not a criticism, I actually kind of like it. It almost looks like looks like it was made on tape almost, with like the way the colors are like washed out and it's
that probably comes from there being a little more digital elements in this compared to, like,
and that's actually not a criticism. I like that look. I'm not giving it a score still, but you know.
So, like, for the fact that, like, it's technically competent in that aspect and the music's okay, even if it is repetitious, like, I feel like I can't go too low, but equally it's not a good movie. So I think, like, a 5 is probably where I actually land.
Yeah.
Especially because of just the amount of potential I think is there. It's a very misguided as a fucking understatement for it. But yeah.
Thank you very much for listening to this episode of Anime Lane. Hopefully we'll be back to normal soon for recording and stuff, and then there will be the normal schedule of EX episodes coming out whenever months have 5 weeks in them instead of 4, rather than, I think, 3 back-to-back EX episodes, because we just have not had time to record, or schedule stuff has come up, and yeah, anyway, bye.